Thanks so much for tuning into the 2021 CatfoodBowl Major Battle of Kirin Season 1. This is Andrew Freeman of Hammer Girl Anime Mahjong here with a look at our competitors. Queeby is the winner of the CatfoodBowl Season 0 and is director of OC Mahjong in California. He's known for aggressive and oppressive dealer turns, winning hand after hand, pressuring opponents to bail, and gaining tons of points while they have control. Their playstyle tends to lie more into the occult, accounting for the other player's perception of their hand as opposed to just their actual tiles. Light Pink Yoshi, runner-up of the hashtag StayHomeCatfoodBowl, plays at Greater Cincinnati ReachMahjong. A veteran of CatfoodBowl events, their playstyle tends towards safety with spikes of aggressive point collecting, and after multiple close games in previous tournaments, you can bet they're here looking for payback. Mort was the runner-up of the hashtag Oxier Power Cup and plays for Toronto Richie. A defensive player, their steady play has consistently brought them up the ranks to this championship table. When not streaming their ladder play to fans, they enjoy coffee and avoiding last place. And last but not least, our two-time champion Wave. Seemingly blessed by the gods of Mahjong, they have been unstoppable, winning both the hashtag Stay Home and the Oxier Power Cup, defeating everyone in their path with strong play and miraculous draws, including a legendary comeback Winshawn. The pride of the Baltimore Mahjong Club, their aggressive tournament play is a sight to see, and something we are all certainly looking forward to.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Battle of Kirin CatfoodBowl Major, brought to you by Catfood Studios and Yostar Games, and co-narrated and streamed by ReachMahjongofNewYork. I will be your MC for today. My name is Tips and Tricks. I am a English ReachMahjong streamer. And I will be joined today by my friend, Joe Trahedron. Say hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody.
And we will be your first team for the very first game today. And all these games will be done by the same four players. These four players have placed very well in the previous Catfood Bowls, the minors, as this is the major. So, starting it off, we've got Wave, who has taken first place in 2 of the cups. They've actually got 2 of those physical trophies there. I've seen the pictures. They placed first in the Oxier Power Cup and the Stay Home. Next on the list, we've got Light Pink Yoshi, who was the runner-up behind Wave. Second place at the Stay Home CatfoodBowl Minor. And then third, we have Mort, who was second place behind Wave at the Oxier Power Cup. And last but not least, we've got Queeby, back from Season 0. Queeby was the winner of the Season 0 Catfood Bowl, back when Mahjong Soul was coming out of its shell to us, the English audience here. Alright, so Joe, how do you feel about these players?
I mean, it's quite the impressive lineup, isn't it? And frankly, if you're anybody but Wave facing them down as the 2-time champion of the
Catfood Bowl here,
Catfood Bowl tournaments, that's got to be pretty intimidating.
That's right. That's right. And let's give our viewers a little bit of an intro to this tournament before we get underway. So, our format here, we're going to be playing 3 Southwind or Hanchan matches in total. There will be a 10-minute intermission for our players to reorganize their thoughts, catch their breath, and maybe take a little break between each match. And the way the rank is going to be determined is simply adding the total score from all 3 matches. Alright. Now, the rules. There are a lot of rules here. It's definitely a doozy to read, but the main things that are different from the typical ranked games in Mahjong Soul, the continuance counterpoints, or honba, are 0 in this tournament. So whereas normally you'd get 300 more points for winning after a dealer continuation or after a exhaustive draw, there are none of those. The no 10 penalty is 500, 1000, 1500, as opposed to the 3000 or the 4000 or the 1000. And there are no abortive draws, so that is to say every hand is going to be played to the end, whether win or a regular type of draw. There's also no agariyame per se, and that means at South 4, if the dealer is winning, the game will still continue, and there is no busting. So players who go below 0 will still have a chance to climb their way back up, all the way to the top. I think that keeps it exciting. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you never want to have that situation where you really feel like you could, you just kind of get hit with one big hand, and that just ends it all, you know?
Yes.
Keeps the dream alive.
And consistent with similar tournament standings, there are no red 5s. That's a difference. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but it's more consistent with tournament play.
Yeah, for the most part, these are, maybe a little bit different from your sort of usual ranked games, but fairly similar, fairly standard for tournament play, with the exception, really, of the 0 points for continuance counters. I think that's really the main odd one out.
That's right. The other thing is, these were the rules for the previous 2 CatfoodBowl minors, so our competitors who have placed very highly in those previous CatfoodBowls will already be familiar. There's not going to be anything new to them. What is new this time are the major prizes. Oh, these are exciting. First place, the permanent title of the Kirin Season 1 Championship. A trophy to take home. I'm sure Wave could tell us about that. He's got 2 of them. There's also a $300 Amazon e-gift card and 50 summon scrolls courtesy of Yostar Studios and Catfood Studios. Second place will receive $150 Amazon e-gift card and 30 summon scrolls. Third place will receive $100 Amazon e-gift card and 20 summon scrolls. And fourth place, a respectable $70 Amazon e-gift card and 10 summon scrolls. So everyone will be well rewarded for showing us this amazing Mahjong here today.
Can't wait.
All right. So now the game is about to begin. Technically, it has begun, but to keep us from essentially breaking any rules, there's a 5-minute delay, just as there is for regular games. All right, so here we go. Looks like they have started, and Yoshi has already declared reach here. Queeby here in the dealer slot and the start. We have Mort on the right, who has a very interesting decision to make. But it does look like he's playing a little bit of danger, but not completely playing right in. And on the left, we've got Wave, who's 1 away from Tempai as well. So this is a pretty interesting situation we've plopped ourselves in here.
Yes, although it does seem like he is not super interested in fighting for this particular hand with that 6-0 safe tile discard.
That's true. We see the 3-so come out there, the legendary 3-so, but Light Pink Yoshi did Reachy on it, so he cannot win off it. You see it coming out of Mort's hand as well.
So tragic to see the 3-so just thrown away like that.
We've got Queeby here, possibly thinking about going up against Light Pink Yoshi. I think of all the players, Queeby has the most at stake, of course. As the East seat, or the dealer, he would lose twice as much as any other player if Light Pink Yoshi sumos their hand. And Quibi does move into Tenpai, draws the dangerous tile though.
Mm-hmm.
And there it goes.
They did have an overlap weight on the 5 characters, but unfortunately, Quibi drew the wrong side.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Quibi, but Light Pink Yoshi starts off with a decent amount of points. Game is still very close. All right, Mort here, 2 away from Tenpai. Not a bad starting hand. Only issue is maybe the white dragon is the door indicator, so there's only 1 left. But overall, a very quick hand. Light Pink Yoshi on the right, not much slower either. It's got many pairs and option for all simples or Tanyao, those 2 to 8 middle tiles. Wave across the table also has a lot of those middle tiles. 3 pairs, does have a pair of south, so might think more about a Pinfu hand. And on the left, Quibi, also a lot of the middle tiles. So I wonder where all the honors will go. Speaking of which, they go right to Mort. Mort finds the last white dragon. Early dealer Ricci. That's always scary to everyone on the table.
What's interesting about Mort's hand is that you saw as his very first discard, he threw away the 9 since he had the 6-7, and so the 9 was a bit unneat since it didn't add any tiles. But had he kept it, that would have actually increased the value of his hand by a whopping 4 Han, adding the half outside hand, or Chanta, and the Sanshoku, pure 3-color straight.
That's right, we could have been looking at maybe a dealer Hanuman or a Baimon, but as it stands, Mort does catch the sumo, puts him in the lead, and he gets to keep his dealer turn. This hand still looking quite good for Mort, but not quite as quick as the previous hand. Yoshi on the right,
quite as explosive.
Yoshi on the right has the real kicker this hand. Very easily can call all simples and has 3 Dora to give it both value and speed here. Wave across the table has a pair of the prevalent wind east and also a pretty decently fast hand, but not the value that Yoshi does. Quibi on the left though, thanks to those 2 calls, very threatening, does actually have one of the green dragons.
And there's 2 left in the wall, so the Yakuman dream is not dead yet.
That's right, the big 3 dragons, the Daisan Gen is still on the table. Quibi also has some other options of a half outside hand here, with maybe a little 3 dragons.
But of course, Yoshi has now made it to Tenpai and is doing his best to ruin Quibi's day.
That's right. With only a single call, Yoshi is already looking at almost a Mangan with that hand there. I think
it should be a Mangan because I believe Kiriage Mangan is turned on. Ooh.
That's right.
A very interesting decision to not make the Khan of the Dora.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. And Quibi also making the decision to risk the Dora discard, but I guess when you've gone this far, you've got to go for it. Mort here also Tenpai. Oh, Wave also Tenpai. All 4 players Tenpai. All 4 players Tenpai here.
What'll be interesting is Mort has, of course... Oh, never mind. Hand's worth nothing if you don't win with it, I guess.
That's right. And Yoshi draws Quibi's tile. Quibi did discard the last green dragon, so white and green dragon here. But gets the win and prevents all the other hands. With 4 players Tenpai, that's as much as you can ask for in a lot of situations.
What is going on here?
This hand, Yoshi's looking interesting. Yoshi's got a long way to go, but this hand could be worth a lot. It just may take a while. Wave on the right has a lot of those inside tiles, some good 3-4 shape, 6-7 in the Mon suit. Quibi across the table has already called a pawn of the green dragon, looking to go fast with some, I guess, Yakuhai there, green dragon. On the left, Mort. Mort is doing okay, but I don't think Mort quite has the speed here to catch the other players. It'll be interesting to see what he comes up with.
Quibi has managed to pick up Dora for themselves, and may be enticed into going for the half flush, given all of these bamboo tiles that seem to be flowing. Well, as I say that, perhaps not so much. Just wants to take a quick 2,000 points and jump into second place.
That's right. But here we have Light Pink Yoshi moving on quite well. As already called the red and the white dragons. Of course, the green dragons are on the table, so the threat of big 3 or even little 3 dragons is not there. But another threat, half flush, all triplets, half flush Toy Toy here for Light Pink Yoshi. That would be a Haneman. Dealer, dealer on top for 18,000. That would be enormous.
Meanwhile, Mort, whose hand was in kind of not so great shape a few turns ago, is now 1 away from Tenpai, but unfortunately, just deals in.
That's right.
To the Green Dragon 1 Dora 2,000 point hand.
Right. So it's still anyone's game. Nobody is above the 30,000 marker currently. We are in East 4 here. Wave with an interesting hand here. Looks like it's going to take some time to pick up. On the right, Queeby, potential half flush, maybe just calling the red dragon. We'll see how it goes. Across the table, Mort has got himself a Dora and a pretty fast hand. It looks to be 2 away from Tenpai. Queeby does call the red dragon there, moving himself faster. Still looks to be about 3 from Tenpai, but we'll see. And Light Pink Yoshi on the left, looking at 4, 5, 6 in Man and Pin. Not really in So, but maybe we'll see the Sanchoku from Light Pink Yoshi here on the left.
It's interesting. Nobody's hand is super quick this time. Queeby has called the Red Dragon, of course, which would normally be a good boon, a way to make your hand kind of race to completion. But they still are, I believe, 2 away from Tenpai, although I think now only 1.
That's right. And Mort moving ahead with his closed hand. Queeby has got his open hand moving as well. Yoshi does have the chance to call the last East Wind for a Yakuhai, as we are still in East around here.
What's interesting is that it's fairly possible that Queeby's weight will end up being, and here it is, a single weight on the Dora, which normally is something you don't necessarily want, just because it's somewhat unlikely that the other players will discard it, especially when it's a really useful middle tile like a 5, as it is in this round.
That's right. So we will see. We can see 2 5s locked away in Mort and Yoshi's hand here. So there's 2 more left for Queeby to draw.
They also may want to draw a 3-pin, perhaps, and improve their weight a bit. Unfortunately, the 7-pin normally would also improve their weight to a 5-8, but in this circumstance, it would put them in Furiten, unfortunately.
That's right. Furiten being when a tile that you could win on is in your discard pile, and so when you're in that state, you cannot roam. In the meantime, Yoshi has gotten to Tenpai. Both the Formon and the East Wind have lit up, but the only Yaku Yoshi has is that East Wind, so Yoshi is going to be looking for the last East Wind this hand.
Wave has also gotten to Tenpai with a all simples, or Tanyao, and 1 Dora.
Oh, there's the last East Wind.
There's the last East.
The last one in the entire wall. And it goes to Queeby, who deals it to Yoshi.
Man, sometimes those single honor weights can be quite productive, even though there's only 1 tile left in the wall. It's almost a guarantee that someone who draws it will look at the 1 in the discards and think, I'm sure it's safe, no problem.
That's right, because nobody else can really use it when you can see all of the remaining ones. Moving on to this hand, Queeby has got a lot of inside tiles here. Let's see what they do with their hand. Mort on the right also has a lot of inside tiles, but has a 7, 8, 9 mon already that I don't think they'll be willing to give up. So good move towards Pinfu. Yoshi across the table has got 2 red dragons. Might make a red dragon hand here. And on the left, Wave is not looking too bad. Wave has a lot of different options, but still about 2 or 3 tiles away from Tenpai. It looks to be 2 now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's 2. Fairly, somewhat likely that they can get to a Pinfu, and the critical tile for that, of course, would be the 3-mon, filling in that 2-4 or 1-2 weight. Alternatively, I suppose, also a possibility. If they could draw 2 of the 3-mons, then of course they get Ipeko, or the pure double straight, the 1-2-3 twice. But that would also require making a pair out of one of the other non-mon tiles in their hand. So it's hard to say whether that will be possible.
The remaining 2 red dragons still on the wall here. Both a blessing and a curse for Yoshi. Light Pink Yoshi could draw the last the third red dragon, allowing him to make a closed hand and potentially Reachy for a lot of points. But as of now, still no red dragon for Yoshi. Everyone's hand is improving pretty well though, and Yoshi draws a second Dora. It's almost as good as the red dragon, maybe better. Depends on who you ask.
Depends on where the red dragons are in the wall as well.
That's true. Okay, and Yoshi is willing to take the Atotsuke weight, the weight where you have no Yaku in your hand yet, but you're expecting to get the Yaku later. So Yoshi is calling in anticipation of getting that red dragon, probably enticed by all the Dora in his hand providing value.
Gotta go fast when you see all those Dora.
That's right. This game has been full of players playing quick hands.
Mm-hmm. Full of kind of explosive hands too, and it's we've barely started the South round.
Yeah.
Mort is in a somewhat interesting position right now. Kind of the ideal way to advance that hand would be to draw a 4 or a 7 mon. You have this 5-5-6-6 shape, which you kind of want to see as 2 5-6s, which weight on a 4-7.
That's right.
But again, we see this concept of Furiten showing its ugly head, because that, if you were to make that hand that way, you would likely end up in Furiten.
Oh, Mort picks up the Dora, but it fits into his hand, so he doesn't discard it, doesn't deal in. We can see Quibi here has Reached, only waiting on the Dora.
Wave also could have had Tenpai by throwing the Dora, but obviously they deemed it to be much too risky to deal against the dealer Ricci, and so opted instead to throw the safe tile, the 7-pin.
That's right, especially perhaps, on the Ipatsu turn.
Oh, absolutely. They may be hoping to maneuver to a single weight on the Dora as well, or they may just bail completely and not be willing to throw that 6-pin, which they may have to do.
Let's see. Yoshi has good use for the 2 Dora, especially considering that he needs the red dragons to finish the hand. It's very likely the Dora are going to be his pair. Unfortunately, the red dragons just did not show this time. They're,
both of them in the dead wall.
That's right. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons. This hand. Quibi, the only one Tenpai here, revealing his Dora weight. Mm-hmm. Sending a message to the other players.
And bringing the scores even closer together.
That's right. So, Quibi here. This is going to be an interesting hand. Almost thought about 13 Orphans for a second. As you know, there's no 9 terminals draw. Not that Quibi had 9, but hand is tough. But Quibi going for a different route. You can see Mort on the right's got a lot of pairs. Possibility to take them to triplets with the green dragon call potentially. Across the table, Light Pink Yoshi's got the Pono the white dragons, and looks to be going pretty fast. Tenpai. Yes, already Tenpai. That's going to be upsetting to Wave on the left. I said red dragons. That was a little bit of a Freudian slip because Wave's already got 3 shiny Dora red dragons trying to win this hand.
Mm-hmm. Wave has drawn those 3-Sos, the legendary 3-So.
That's right.
Which would have dealt into Yoshi. But fortunately, the 3-So are actually the ideal candidate for the pair right now in Wave's hand. And so, or a possible candidate, I should say. And so they may be lucky enough to get away without dealing in.
That's
Just
right.
have to see what happens.
Will Queeby cut the Dora here? Not yet. Queeby's still holding on to the Dora. In fact, destroying his 7-9 pin shape. Oh, but there's a 3-So. And that comes out.
There it goes. The legendary Sanzo.
The legendary Sanzo, the 3-So. And Light Pink Yoshi accepts it gladly. Small hand, but diffuses what could have been a bomb from Wave there. Alright, now we've got Mort in the dealer slot. It's already south too. This game has been going really quickly. And no player is above 30,000. I guess we didn't mention it at the beginning, but that is, I believe, another change from the ranked rules. I don't think the game continues if all 4 players are under 30,000. I believe the goal score is 25,000, so they don't have to worry about West 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. It's not something that comes up incredibly often. But we may see it in this game. Of course, the other thing about getting to a late stage of the game when the points are this flat is that all you need is one person to win a big hand, a Mangan, a Haneman, or even higher. And it may put them in an unassailable position to smoothly and easily end the game in first.
That's right. Speaking of unassailable, well, to be fair, any hand in Mahjong is an assailable position. You never know when someone's going to ruin you. But Wave, looking to have a pretty solid hand here, makes that call and is now 1 away from Tempa. Has got 2 Dora, is able to pawn a Dora if it comes out to go to Tempai. The pretty decent weight. We've got Mort here who's still holding 2 south wins. It's probably his best Yaku. On the right, we got Light Pink Yoshi, already called the Red Dragon, in Tempai. And on the left, Queeby looking for a bit of a bigger hand, but is not Tempai. In fact, is 2 tiles away from Tempai, so a little slower than the other players here.
It'll be fun if Yoshi can draw a 9-So, and then he can get that Chanta, the half outside hand. Just give him a nice little boost.
That's right. I actually wonder if Yoshi would go for it, considering the weight, but yes. We don't get to find out.
Yep, we don't.
Yeah, and indeed, there's confirmation of there is no west wind. The game will end after South 4, regardless of whether the players are above 30,000.
So we're in. Sorry.
That's right. Yeah, with this hand here, Light Pink Yoshi's. That is 2 away from Tempai. It almost looks like 1 away. It's 1 away now, but it's a really nice shape. Even though it was 2 away, it looked like it was 1 away because it accepted so many tiles. Wave on the right. It's got a lot of isolated honors there. Across the table, Queeby has a decent hand going. I believe Queeby might be 1 away if I'm looking at it right. Nah, I think that's 2 away, yeah. But it's still good.
No, it is 2 away, yeah.
Yeah, and then Mort on the left, working through his hand. It's got a lot of isolated tiles there on the right, but really good Manzu shapes. Could shape up to a half flush if this hand goes long. Have we even seen an exhaustive draw yet?
I don't believe so. No, there was one when forget who it was, but the dealer had a single weight on the Dora.
That's right. Queeby was waiting for the 4-So Dora. That was the one exhaustive draw we've had, as far as I can remember.
Speaking of Queeby, they have managed to get 1 away now, and are looking at a possible Richi, Pinfu, and Itsu, the 1 through 9 straight, which would be a good chance at a Mangan, which would be quite big for South 3.
That's right, and with the right Uradora, potential Haneman. Let's see if they would Richi it, though. It's interesting. Because a Mangan would be enough to put Queeby in first place. You can see...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
You gotta wonder what the other people will do in the situation, because these are all seasoned players. They know what's going on. They know that it's close to the end of the game, and they don't want to deal into a big hand going into the last hand of the game.
That's right. Funny you should mention that. Yoshi is here with a Pinfu hand, 147 pin weight, a very wide weight. Immediately calls Richie upon drawing Tenpai. Wave immediately draws a tile that would deal in, but breaks his 7-8-9 shape in order to throw a fairly safe tile. Not 100% safe, but what they call Suji to the 6. It's in the same vein. It's a lot less likely to deal in than that 1 pin that Wave just drew.
And here we see the kind of unfortunate position that even when you're in last place, you really just have to avoid dealing in, because if you go into the last hand, South 4, having just dealt into... Well, actually, I'm saying something wrong, because of course if you deal into the dealer, it doesn't go to South 4.
That's right. Wave gets a bit of a blessing here, draws a second 1 pin, and so can rotate that to be his pair. Oh, as I say that, he draws another 4 pin though. It's going to be hard to use all the 1 pin and all the 4 pin and the 7 pin.
Well, I mean, you might still say that's lucky, because, it's better than getting dealer sumoed.
That's true.
Drawing in all of their tiles for yourself.
Ah, but Quibi sumos. Quibi not reaching there, going for the silent Tenpai, and pulling in Pinfu with sumo, a very small hand, but enough to stay out of last place here. And we are moving into South 4. Wave may have his chance. Look at this. Half flush on the way. Already 3 green dragons. On the right, Quibi has 2 red dragons. There's been a lot of dragon pairs or triplets in players' hands this game.
It's very true.
And it comes out no con from Wave here. Of course, some of us may remember the legendary con that Wave used to win. I believe it was the Ox Power Cup. It was either the Ox or the Stay Home, but one of the CatfoodBowl miners, Wave won with a legendary Haneman Rinchan, but chooses not to con in this place. There's a time and a place for everything.
I mean, there is an argument to be made that if you are in last place, you might want to throw some kind of craziness in, just to give yourself more chance to jump up. But perhaps, given this is only the first game and nothing will be decided for a while.
That's right. Oh, Quibi here has actually won the hand, but is contemplating what his position will be, and indeed throws the tile out. Quibi must be looking for the Dora to ascend to second place at least. So goes to Furiten.
Very interesting move.
Yeah.
Can't say I blame them. But it's not very often that you see people throw away wins like that. That's the kind of calculations that you have to do.
That's right. There are only 3 games today, so every game really counts. That Dora that Quibi wants, Yoshi has drawn, and Yoshi is not willing to give it up. We have a pawn from Mort. Mort being in first place is fine with taking the small hand. Mort still 1 away from Tenpai. Oh, Wave gets a Tenpai, but it's not half flush. Of course,
interesting.
That's right. As the dealer, Wave does not have to worry about not scoring enough points. Well, I mean, you do still worry about it, but Wave does have the chance to regain his dealership should this go to a draw, or should Wave win and the points be insufficient. To be fair, because the win repeat rules, or the winning stopping rules off Agariyame, Wave will have to repeat this hand if he wins, regardless of whether he's in first or not.
That's true, but if they do manage to win, they may not be in first, but they'll certainly it'll lower the bar for how many points they need to get to get to first, and so they, like Mort, might be more okay with some smaller hands.
That's right, and we can see Yoshi drawing all the Dora that Quibi want. There's 1 left. In fact, Quibi might be willing to take a 7-pin win at this point, both because the dealer has reached, so they get an extra 1,000 points, and because the dealer has reached, so they don't want the dealer to win.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier, what I wonder what Queeby is thinking right now about the decision to throw away that 7 pin. I mean, obviously, maybe if it was the right decision at the time and you get punished for it, there's nothing to say if it was still the right decision. But it would have avoided this situation. It's hard to say.
That's right. Oh, this is the chance for Queeby to change his weight to non-Furiten. So, as we noted, Queeby is still in Furiten. So, if somebody else discards the Dora, for example, Wave here in Riichi, Queeby cannot win on it. Although, to be fair, Wave is waiting on the exact same weight. So, he would not. I can see Mort holding onto the tile as well.
And one of the rules which we didn't mention. Very interesting. We got to see it.
Queeby does find the 7.
Mm-hmm.
With the Riichi, this might be enough to put Queeby into second. Let's see. 100 points! The Riichi stick does it!
Impressive! Very well done by Queeby.
Yeah, so the passing up of the win does pay off for Queeby here. And as we can see, Mort still in first, but Queeby second. Light Pink Yoshi third, and Wave unfortunately not able to capitalize on that late dealer Riichi here. There was so much potential, but we'll have to stick with fourth for this first game.
But of course, there are still 2 more games, and these scores are, far from the biggest scores that you could see in from a single game. The point differential is well within reach of being made up within just the second game alone. So it'll be very exciting to see what happens.
That's right, and we have the scores here in a more easily digestible format. We've got Mort in the lead, plus 17.8, Queeby second, plus 6.5, Light Pink Yoshi, minus 3.6, and Wave at minus 20.7. Still definitely everyone's game here.
Man, that was a really crazy last hand. I mean, just not only seeing someone pass up a win, then seeing the dealer call Riichi on the exact same weight. And what's interesting is that one of the sort of more common tournament rules, which is called head bump or atamahane, is in effect here. And so if someone else had thrown the 4-7 pin, not only would Queeby have not been able to call Ron because of Furiten, but because Wave would have been able to call Ron first, because they're earlier in the turn order. And then, of course, changing their mind now that the reach stick is on the table and taking the win the second time to take second place by 100 points. I mean, that's crazy. That's just wild.
That's right. So we've got a few highlights from this previous game here. In East 2, we're looking at Queeby's hand here. As we play the hand, we will move it along. We can see Queeby had a very good chance at possibly big 3 dragons, and then later on in the hand, as we move ahead, the pawn on the red dragon, a chance at little 3 dragons, seeing that Yoshi's dragon is dropped. The chance for big 3 dragons is still alive. But, as we notice, Queeby draws a pair of the Tuso here. And along the hand, we can see Yoshi and Tenpai across the table. This hand had the potential for sparks to fly, but we can see Queeby right here make the decision to throw the green dragon, giving up on the little 3 dragons, in order to avoid discarding the Dora yet, and as well keeping efficiency in his hand. And we can see later on here, makes the call and discards the Dora, getting to a Tenpai to match Yoshi across the table. A few turns later, and just about everyone is in Tenpai. We can see Mort, as the dealer, did not Riichi, so did not have Yaku to roam with, only could Sumo. But on the left, you can see Wave waiting on 147, Queeby having the 9-mon and the Tuso. Yoshi has been Tenpai probably all the way up on the very first line, that 3rd or 4th discard, still waiting for the 8 and the 7, and eventually Queeby comes out here Now this is interesting because Quibi did give up on the big hand, but this sort of speed win to shut down the other players would not have been possible. And this kind of tactical play is what you can expect from our top players. We can see it again in the very last hand, where Quibi had gotten a very quick win. Right here, already draws it, and we can see Quibi did throw it away later, up until the Reachy stick came down. And the Reachy stick caused Quibi to take the 7-pin win later on in the hand, giving them second place. So very interesting play there from Quibi. Two very interesting situations.
Really an impressive snipe of second place. Kind of crazy. Very cool. Very cool.
That's right. Speaking of shapes here, we've got a little bit of a present for you guys. You guys watching right now. Let's fade into it. Look at this. Look at this. Tips from Tips and Joe in this case.
Hi, I'm still here.
So, we've got a few tips for you to improve your game. So, as we know, Mahjong is all about putting your 4 sets of 3 together and a pair to finish your hand, along with Yaku. Now, this little mini-series is not really going to talk about Yaku so much, but it will talk about the efficiency of your shapes. So let's get started with one very common shape. This is a 3-4-4 pin, but it's not just a 3-4-4 pin. This could be a 4-5-5, a 5-6-6 of any suit. This kind of shape is very useful. We can see if you draw a 2, it can become 2-3-4. If you draw a 5 pin, it can become 3-4-5. And that is when you're later on in the hand. If you draw the 2 earlier on in the hand, a shape like 2-3-4-4, we will be getting to later, is also very useful for making more than one shape. So when you look at the shape like this, it does not necessarily only make you one set of 3. It can actually make you 2 different sets. So you could get a pair and a run of 3, or you could even get 2 runs of 3. Say with this 5 here, you have 3-4, 4-5. You could later have a 2-3-4 and a 3-4-5. You can also draw a 4 pin. And a 4 pin allows you to get a 4-4-4. Now that's a triplet, and with the 3-4-4-4, we will see that shape later on. And the last trick about this shape is that if you have another pair, say you have a pair of white dragons, and you draw the triplet of it, well now this 3-4-4, you can cut the 3 pin, and this can be 4-4, and that can be the pair while you've made your new triplet. But as a final shape, if this is the last shape in your hand, it is not Tenpai. You cannot wait on it to be Tenpai at the very end. And so we'll move on to the next shape here.
So this shape is the 3-5-7, or similarly like a 4-6-8. It's called a Ryankan, or a double closed weight, since a 3-5 is a closed weight. 5-7 is also one. You're probably quite familiar with something like a 3-4. That's a double-sided weight. This is like a double-sided weight waiting on 2 different tiles, but it takes 3 tiles instead of 2. So basically you have 3-5, which could be filled in with a 4 to make it into a 3-4-5, or you could have draw the 6 and fill in the 5-7 closed weight to make it a 5-6-7. This, of course, can't be your final weight. It's 3 tiles, and what you want to do is draw one of the sides and throw the other side to have a completed set of 3. Here we have another good example. This is a great shape to have. It's a really flexible one that you can have in your hand.
That's right, Joe. Thank
3,
you.
4, 4, 4. Oh, okay.
Sorry. I just realized my mistake. So this is an extension to the 3-4-4 shape that we had been talking about previously. Drawing a 2 allows you to either do a 2-3 weight with a 4-4-4 triplet, or a 2-3-4 with a 4-4 pair. You can also pair up the 3 and have a triplet and a pair of 3-pin. You can draw the 5, which ends with a run and a pair, or you could even draw the last 4. And this is probably not a situation where you want to con the 4s. That leaves you with the 3-4 and a triplet of 4-4-4. Now we have our last shape here. Can take it away.
This one is 3-4-4-5 here. Of course, similarly like a 5-6-6-7. This is sometimes called a bulging middle shape, I think. The Japanese term is nakabukure, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
This is another one that could either be one set or two. It could be one set and a pair as well. So you could think of it as 3-4-5 with a lone 4 that you could draw a 4 and pair it up. Now you have a set and a pair. You could also think of it as two separate two-sided weights, a 3-4 and a 4-5. And so then, of course, you could draw a 2 or 5, which completes the 3-4 into a full set of 3. And then you have a 4-5. Or you could draw a 3-6, which finishes the 4-5 weight and into a full set of 3. And now you're waiting on the 3-4, you have a 3-4, which is waiting on a 2 or a 5. Or, of course, it could just be your final weight when you get to Tenpai. It's just a 3-4-5, which is a set, and then waiting on a 4 for a pair weight. Or alternatively, you could think of it as the 4 is your pair, and you have a 3-5 closed weight. But really, this is an ideal shape to have in your hand if you're not quite to Tenpai yet, because it can so easily turn into 2 sets of 3 or 1 set of 3 and a nice weight to have as your last tiles.
That's right. And now we will be going to our next commentary team, which will be Joe and Irie. Welcome, Irie, and welcome again, Joe.
Hey, nice
Hello.
to be here.
Welcome to the party.
All right.
Yes.
So the game is live, so I'll be transitioning there, but we will have time for introductions after. My apologies.
It's all right. All right, so jumping right in, let's see what we have here for Mort as a dealer. Already has a pair of West, has that very nice shapes, a lot of Manzu. I think this is very interesting. And as far as Dora, we do see 2 in Light Pink Yoshi's hand, which is very nice. They have nice shapes as well, so it could turn out to be something very good.
Looking like 2 away from Tenpai for Yoshi. Possibility of getting a nice Pinfu Dora hand, which would be very exciting. But of course, that would rely on drawing the 3-mon, which unfortunately for them, there's only one of them left on the wall.
Mm-hmm. And Queen Bee here has a very nice hand as well. They have a lot of pairs, and they do have a concealed triplet. Depending on what they want to go for, whatever they draw, they could see a very nice hand as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, there's you always, anytime I see a hand like that, you start wondering, where is the Suwanko? Where is the 4 concealed triplets?
Right, the 4 concealed triplets, one of the, rarest hands in the game, the Yakuman, worth 32,000 points right now, would definitely set a very interesting pace for this match if it were to happen, but luckily for the other players, it's pretty rare to happen.
That's true, that's true.
Mort here does get a very nice tile. He draws a 6, completing his last sequence, so now he's 1 away from Tenpai, either 1 or 4 on the Pinzu or Bamboo.
And he's now actually made it to a situation which is known as a perfect 1 away hand, which just means that no matter how you get to Tenpai, you're guaranteed to have a 2-sided weight.
Right, and also not only the 2-sided weight, but also the Pinfu. But they do decide to call the West here, and looks like they're going to be changing their hand a little bit. Let's see what they have planned here. since the West triplet is not Yakuhai, so it does not grant you Han by itself.
It's true. It'll definitely have to wait around and see what Mort's plan is for this hand.
Mm-hmm. And it is technically a Tenpai, but since there is no Yaku because you do not have Yakuhai and you do not have Tanya without simples, it is very difficult to actually. Well, right now you actually cannot declare Ron or Sumo.
Mm-hmm. Quibi calls the Khan on the 5-pin, drawing the 1-so, which is lit up, but of course, as Irie was just saying, Mort cannot win off of it.
Mm-hmm. And now, because of that, we do see the the one of characters now being the new Dora, and that makes it so Lightning Kyoshi actually has 4 Dora in his hand.
Yeah, and Lightning Yoshi also makes a call just to get the Tenpai since we're nearing the end of the round. They also have no Yaku and cannot call Ron or Sumo, but since it's so close to the end of the wall, they're just hoping to not have to pay the players who are Tenpai.
That's right, but and unfortunately, it's also impossible to win on the very fringe case of the winning on the last tile of the game, because the tiles that would grant him the win aren't actually available right now.
It's true. That's true. Although, let's see. It looks like there is one. Well, okay.
Yeah,
no, there isn't a 1-so left. The last 1-so was the Dora indicator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And very differently from the last game where we barely saw any exhausted draws. Starting off here on East 1, we already see an exhausted draw. And now we're going to see more to be able to repeat this dealership. Maybe they went for the West call because they didn't believe they could get into Tenpai otherwise. So yeah, that did end up working out in the end.
It's true. It's true. It's always hard to tell once you get to the third row of discards whether to make that sacrifice and just avoid Tenpai payments, or whether you want to hold on to the chance of actually managing to get a valid winning hand with a Yaku.
Mm-hmm.
Tough call.
But it did end up working out for Mort because nobody else could actually ended up winning. And he does get to keep his dealership, so he now has another chance of using that the very nice advantage of being the dealer and getting 50% more points. Again, reminder that the bonus points that you usually get from a repeat and a draw are not actually turned on this game. The value of those is 0, so it's a bit different than what you're used to, but still, the repeat, of course, of the dealer is still very nice.
Absolutely. Any chance to win extra points really make a big chance to sort of turn the tides of the match, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And now this is a very nice draw here for Mort. The south pair is not a Yakuhai, so he can actually get Pingfu if he decides to go for it. You could also draw the 6 of Bamboo and possibly turn this hand into an all simples. Depending on what he gets, it could be a very valuable hand. And as far as the dragons go, they're mostly discarded. I think it's very unlikely that we'll see Kui pair up the second one.
That's right. And I'd like to point out, in Mort's hand here, we have one of those shapes we were just talking about a few minutes ago, this 2-3-3-4 bulging middle shape. In this case, it's hard to say whether it'll end up being just 1 set or 2. Depends on how he is dealing with these honors that he has drawn several of in the past few turns. I mistake.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like we're gonna have a Riichi here by Quibi. Waiting on the 1 and 4. It is a Pinfu. It's a very nice one. So depending on if they get the Sumo, it could go up to 4,000. Depends on what we see as well. If they win with the Ure Dora as well, it could really boost up the value of the sand.
There's always the chance for some Uradora. And, of course, the ideal for them would be Ura of 1-so, and there's still 2 9-sos that we can't see, so that can't rule that out.
For sure. And let's see here if they manage to get a Sumo. Again, the value would be a lot higher.
Mort here has quite a nice hand, actually, developed. We see this... he is actually 1 away from Tenpai, But unfortunately, you would have to throw the deal in tile for Quibi in order to make it there, at least at how things stand at present. So,
Right.
yeah, I think it's somewhat likely that we'll see some bailing happening over here, but you never know.
You never know. I've seen some incredibly precise play and incredibly disciplined play. I have seen before people change their weight completely. For example, discarding 5 and 6 pin just because they sense something suspicious. But looks like with the 4 so discard, they are going to be bailing.
I think so.
Yeah, and now they're completely tearing apart their hand because it's better not to deal in, of course. Not dealing in is always the best.
Yeah, even if it costs you your dealer turn.
Of course. Because if you deal in, you lose your dealer turn as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna head to another exhaustive draw, somewhat likely, since yeah.
And yeah, Mort already placed first on the previous game, so they have even less incentive to go for riskier plays, of course.
Absolutely.
Wave is the one that really has to work really hard right now to claw out of the last place with -20.
I have a pretty decent hand for this hand. Still several tiles away from Tempai, but they've got some nice middle tiles for some other draws to latch onto, likely Pinfu. They could also draw a Dora, of course, that would latch onto that 4, so that would be pretty nice, especially given that we actually don't see any on the table at all yet.
And Quibi did start with a lot of honors, but they're quickly discarding them. They do have some very nice shapes. If they draw the 3 mon for Quibi, it could be a very nice. The hand could go into a very nice direction very fast. And Wave.
Sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that Wave did pair up the red dragons now, so if he can find the last one, he could speed up his hand by a lot.
There it is.
There we go. So now let's see. Decides to throw away the 7 because the 4 is a bit more efficient.
Yeah, you still want to keep the opportunity to draw a Dora. 1,500 points is nice, but 2,900 points is nicer.
Yeah, for sure. And now we see Light Pink Yoshi does have a guaranteed mixed triple sequence in his hand of 6, 7, 8. And depending on what they draw, they could also upgrade their hand into a Tanya. So it could be nice.
It's possible for sure. They are currently Tempai, waiting on the 3 mon only. But of course, as you say, they could upgrade that hand again. 1,000 points is nice. 2,000 points is nicer.
Of course, and they are able to draw both the 2 and the 4 to upgrade this shape. Because I think if they draw the 3, they would just take it.
Yeah.
And players have been a bit silent for now. Not many calls outside of the Red Dragon and Light Pink Yoshi's 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Wave has just not been able to draw in any more useful titles since they called that Red Dragon.
Right, and they are still 2 away, even with a call. So they do get this, but now they need a pair.
Yeah, and so now they would be harder to use the Dora. Oh, Yoshi draws a Dora, and the first one that we've seen.
Well, it's actually the first one. How likely is that?
Yeah, we're already in the 3rd row of discards. Oh, and they...
Oh!
Man, what a backfire.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can't blame them for being worried when you draw a Dora and you don't see any of the other Dora, even...
Right, that's gotta be a scary situation. Okay, so now they're waiting on the Dora and on the 4, and as we know, they could end up actually drawing it themselves. So, this is actually an extremely nice hand, with potential 3 Dora, all simples, and mixed triple sequence that could be a Mangan. But Mort gets into Tempai and just runs on the 6 mon. Very quiet, very silent, and takes that hand away from Light Pink Yoshi.
Yeah. And from Wave. And actually, I think everyone was Tempai at that point, although Quibi, I think, did not have a Yaku. But it was late enough that people were calling without Yaku, just to avoid tenpai payments.
Of course. And yeah, but definitely the one who was most upset about that win was Yoshi with the potential Mangan.
Yeah, those double Dora draw right at the end there. Crazy.
So now this is a very interesting hand as well. It does have some not ideal shapes, of course, and the 8 pin, of course, is kind of lonely. But wow, drawing the 4 of bamboo there gives him another triplet. So 2 triplets right now. We could end up seeing more.
Definitely a possibility for a relatively uncommon Yaku, which is 3 concealed triplets, Sananko.
And they don't decide that. They're looking for more value, it seems.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's now the possibility to if you really wanted some more points, you could potentially try to go for all triplets here. But
all triplets reach you. Very good hand. Very, very, very good for sure.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Wave is now 1 away from Tenpai with
so this gives the potential. So with this Riichi, or even without the Riichi, of course, gives the potential of the hand you were talking about. If they do draw the 4 or the 8 themselves, they get the 3 concealed triplets, which is a bonus of 2 hands. So
yeah,
it's very nice.
Very nice. There's 2 of them left in the wall, so it's far from it's certainly possible.
So we do see another Riichi.
Oh,
but then Sumo comes, and that's going to be at least a manga. Yeah, and it's Ipatsu as well, so let's see. Oh, that's 2. If that was a 3, we could have seen something much bigger, but it is a Mangan for the dealer, and you can never go wrong with that.
Absolutely. That's I think that might be the biggest hand that we've seen so far in the battle.
I do think so, because since we do not have the red Doras, it's a lot harder to find value, right?
Yeah, it's less common to reach those limiting hands, Mangan and above. But yeah, that's kind of wild. And of course, Yoshi gets to stay dealer now.
Yeah, and with a massive advantage being dealer, you don't really have to go for any risky play right now, and you're looking very good to get the first place and have a nice placement for the last game.
Let's see. Right now we have Mort with a pair of the East Wind. Still 2 of them left in the wall, so he could certainly end up calling the round wind the East and going for a faster hand. Quibi also is in a position to be able to call, as they do. And they're now 1 away from Tenpai just for a quick all simples hand.
It would be interesting to see if they draw the 6 or the 7 or maybe the West. They could try to upgrade into an all triplet sound.
That's true. Also, which would, of course, as I said a few times, 1,000 points is nice, but 2,000 points is nicer. Although I think if you manage to get an all triplets, it's definitely a possibility to upgrade it all the way to 2,600.
Wow. So like Pink Yoshi here did have a choice to make between keeping the Dora and the 2, so it would be a worse shape than the 2-3 pin that he has in his hand, but this gives him a higher chance of completing his hand, and also if he does draw the 3 mon, you will have a closed pure straight, a 1 through 9, which would be very valuable. Of course, it does add when it's closed, it's 2 points.
Quibi has managed to get to Tenpai with quite a nice weight of the 8 pin and the 5-8 mon. It's not the all triplets, as we said before, but still the possibility to upgrade to that if they manage to draw a 6 or a 7 mon.
Right, so there is room to upgrade here, but we'll see what they choose to do. Because you actually cannot call pawn on the 8 and discard because you end up in Furitan, which is the when you cannot win by your dawn because of something you discarded.
Yeah, although of course I don't think they'll have to make that call because the last 8 pin is in Mort's hand, and I don't think it's going anywhere.
Right, it does seem pretty stuck in Mort's hand, as you said. And Mort has just been waiting here for either a pawn or something, but looks like with that discard, I don't think they are going to go for anything else here. Mort is a very defensive player, as we have seen in previous tournaments, and so it looks like that's what they're going to choose to do for this game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anyone else can make it to Tenpai, or if it'll just be another draw with some points for Quibi. Oh, as I say that, Yoshi makes Tenpai waiting on, of course, what else but the legendary Sanso.
The legendary 3 of bamboo, in all its glory.
And Mort might smell the danger of the Sanso.
Yeah.
What will he do it?
I did not expect Mort to discard the 3 of bamboo there.
Yeah. Mort's probably the least likely to throw the Sanso.
For sure.
He knows its power.
Yeah, and wave. Also just folding. So yeah, it does look like, yeah, but barring anything, looks like we'll have a the exhaustive draw here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Mort will probably just throw us, safe tile.
Yep.
We have another exhaustive draw.
So I think in this tournament, the other difference, as we saw in the previous tournament, instead of 1,500, which is usual for Mahjong Soul ranked, for example, both players actually paid only 1,000 to the players who were in Tenpai. It's a small difference as well that we have seen in the CatfoodBowl tournaments. And going into E3, so this is the second repeat for Light Pink Yoshi. They do have a 7-8-9 of bamboo, but the biggest threat right now is Mort's hand. With the he already tripled up on the green dragon, and he does have the white dragon in his hands. And if he draws the red, it could be very dangerous.
Yeah, there are actually all of the other dragon tiles are still in the wall, so it's very likely that it's pretty likely that he could draw some more of them. He could even try to go for, even without it, it could be a half flush, all triplets, little 3 dragons, which would be a Baimon.
Right, because he does already have the 6 and 3 of bamboo paired up, so he doesn't actually need the door if he does decide to go that way.
Mm-hmm. But of course, that makes it, it makes it a little bit harder to go in that direction, to commit to that, because it does mean that you have to throw the door up.
Wow, okay, so he does pair up on the 3 of bamboo, and if he calls the white dragon, we'll see what happens. The red dragons have been discarded. But now they actually drew into Tenpai. And so now they're waiting on 6 of bamboo and the white dragon.
Mm-hmm. Quite a bit cheaper than we were maybe fantasizing, but still a reasonable hand to kill Yoshi's momentum as dealer.
Mm-hmm. And okay, I was thinking depending on the side they choose, but yeah, this side is only worth 2,600, not a lot of points compared to what we were discussing earlier, but you gotta remember, Mort doesn't necessarily need first place. He did place very nicely on the previous game, so the tournament is very common to see after the first game. The tournament only kind of, it's a very different atmosphere, right, than when you're playing your usual one-off games in ranked.
Absolutely. Something that it's kind of hard to really appreciate until you do it for yourself. So you get into that kind of atmosphere.
And this, the opposite goes for Mort in the case of Wave. Since they ended up 4th on the previous game, they do have to make some riskier plays, and that could lead to them, snowballing. But let's look at Queeb's hand here. They do have the green dragon pair, but this hand could even be close depending on what they draw.
Yeah, it would be interesting if you manage to draw the 3-so. It might even be worth throwing the. But looks like we get to see the decision made anyway.
Mm-hmm. So now they can call a lot of tiles to further up their hand, but looks like they're not going to use the door. Maybe they could use it as a pair.
I think that's probably the hope. Hang on, maybe they'll hang on to it here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so they do hang on to it, so they are going to use it as a pair. So they can draw either the 2 or the 5 of characters, and they can also draw the 1 of bamboo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they draw the 7, so whether they take it or not. I mean,
that is another option.
They're in 3rd place in the game.
All right. So
Yeah,
they did draw the Tempai, and now waiting on the shiny bird. It's Dora 1 of bamboo.
Very nice.
Shiny bird.
It's one of the pitfalls about doing these streams. Sometimes you go all start pontificating about what players might do, and then they just do it.
Yeah, because it just happens right as we're talking, right? So who do you think also has a good chance of winning this hand?
Well, let's see. I mean, Mort has the red dragon pair. There's still one left in the wall, so he could always call it, but he is still also 2 away from Tempai. Wave as well is 2 away from Tempai, and Yoshi is not very close to Tempai either. And now, of course, Mort has drawn the shiny bird as well, and will need to do some work to
fit that tile into his hand without discarding it, right? Because it is so dangerous.
Exactly.
And
meanwhile,
especially...
Wave has made it to 1 away from Tempai, and so could potentially fight for the hand, but it's hard to say.
And something that a lot of people probably can't appreciate is that these players have so much information to process, right? They are processing, for example, the fact that Queeby has called the green dragon, and after a few discards, has only discarded the tiles he drew from the wall. And that gives them a lot of information because they must know that they are in Tempai and, possibly waiting on the single pair wait.
That's true. They might be able to discern that just from looking at the tiles. Mort has actually managed to get to 1 away from Tempai for 7 pairs and could manage to get to Tempai without throwing the 1-so. Meanwhile, Wave has gotten to Tempai, and as we've seen a number of times, with no Yaku, and so they cannot call wrong.
Right. So I think, it was definitely an attempt to simply get into Tempai for the exhaustive draw, but depending on... Okay, I was thinking... do we actually have any 2s left? I think we had a single one.
I think all of the 2 5s were gone, but drawing the 1-so on the high tail would have certainly been exciting. On the last
yes. Yeah, they were all gone. My apologies. Alright, so Queeby again. Let's see what they have here. They do have a lot of completed sequences already, so this puts them already in a very nice situation where they can draw a lot of things to improve their hand, and also all the ways it can improve are very nice. The ideal would be pairing up maybe the West, or that is also very good because they could possibly get a painful here, and that would be a very nice hand to win as the dealers, as they do have 1 door as well, and now 2.
Let's see. Mort has called his seat wind the south, and also has a triplet of the north, and is, it looks like, 2 away from a half flush.
Indeed, and now Queeby does actually manage to complete that inside wait, the Kanchan. And let's see here.
From that another shape that we discussed earlier, that 2-4-6, drew the 5 and completed it. And now they are 1 away from Tempai. Unfortunately, never mind. Not unfortunate at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, if they draw the 6 minus another Dora, it doesn't give them the chance to get Pinfu, but...
No, it does.
Actually, no, it does, actually. Yeah. So...
Yet another one of the shapes that we discussed earlier. And, that's why we discussed them, because they all come up all the time.
Yeah, they come up very often, as you can see.
And, if you're playing a real game and you had this hand, and you don't have Mahjong Soul, tips to tell you when you can win or not, it's good to be able to identify these shapes that show up a lot.
The 4-1 is so dangerous.
Know what you're waiting on, so you don't...
4-1. Ooh, okay, bullet dodged, but yeah, like you were saying, if you're playing Mahjong in real life, you do need to know these. Of course, you don't have tips. Wow, and the sumo for Queeby.
Oh, and the Sanshoku as well.
Oh, that's Sanshoku as well. Oh my goodness. So this is probably gonna be the biggest hand in the tournament, maybe, because it is a 5-1. A dealer Baimon for 24,000.
Now that is exciting.
Very exciting. And
Wow.
yeah, I
And
think
the emotes are coming
the
out.
emails are coming out.
Give me a break. Yeah, I feel that more. I feel that.
Yeah, so I think Yoshi did have a massive advantage, and still has compared to the other players, but except for Quibi, who's now sitting very nicely. He did get second place on the previous game, so
Yeah.
this first could really give him a very nice position going into the third game.
Absolutely. And I mean, Quibi has the East pair, the Seat Wind and Round Wind. And so they could easily continue their dealership.
And now actually has the White Dragon as well.
Absolutely.
But they could have triple Yakuai. Let's see. How crazy could his hand get?
Could be a half flush.
Be a half flush?
Half flush.
Pure straight?
Yeah. That would
We could have it all? Oh my goodness.
sound so.
Oh
he
my
could also get the 7-pin and have the half outside hand, the Chanta. Which would be potentially. Oh, he goes for the half flush instead. So
yeah, half flush, very, very nice here.
half flush, east, Richi would be another Haneman. Sorry, would be a
So
Haneman
18,000 more potentially?
that
would be interesting to see.
Managed to get the full straight as well. That would be another Baimon.
Right. We have been a bit quiet about the other players, so let's take a look. I think Yoshi does have the half flush in the making as well. Of course, not as advanced as Yoshi, who calls the chi and immediately can run on the east. So this is going to be, yeah,
not quite a Mangan, but oh no, yeah,
pretty much a Mangan with 11,600,
yes.
430. Very nice hand.
Extending their lead, and Mort, who was in first place after the first game, now sitting at a somewhat unfortunate 4,800 points. Not
That's
a great
right.
position to be in, although it's worth pointing out we still have the entire South round left.
That's true, and just as we saw Quibi do this, of course it's very unlikely that these hands would happen again. We could see Mart could make a comeback. And a small reminder that we do not have busting here, so if Mort does fall under 0 points, he can still continue playing for advantage.
That's right. I think we've had quite a few continuation sticks, dealer repeats. I think we've had at least like 5, 6, maybe 7 by this point. We've already,
I think Yoshi repeated twice, and now Quibi's on this fourth repeat.
We've already almost doubled the length of the game, incredibly.
Yeah, in comparison to the previous game, it seems like people are getting a lot of much bigger hands.
That's true, and the dealer, and we've had, as we mentioned a few times, more exhaustive draws as well, which of course also result in a dealer repeat, as long as the dealer is Tenpai. Let's see.
And
wow, wave across the table could be looking at a half flush and a full straight, or potentially also keeping the Dora, and that's a possibility for quite a nice hand there.
a close half flush is very valuable. Gives you 3 points, 3 on. But no, they're going to open up because okay. So they're Tenpai on the Dora instead.
An interesting choice. It allows you to keep the full straight, but of course, if you threw the Dora, then you could keep the 8-pin, and potentially, maybe you would lose the pure straight, but you might be able to vastly improve your weight and wait on more tiles and get that half flush.
Right, but there is also the point that maybe you don't want to give the Dora to Light Pink Yoshi because they could cheat it. So there is that point of view as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good reason to not throw the Dora. But on the other hand, if you're wave and last place after the first game and in third place in this game, maybe you just want to go for the most likely way to get as many points as you can. It's a tough balance to strike sometimes.
Right, but getting Dora too is also also does give you the it refunds the half flush, right?
It does, but of course you still have you're forced to stick to a pair weight And you know, you don't want to throw the Dora. Everybody else doesn't want to throw the Dora too. So it's you know, these are the kinds of things that these players are undoubtedly thinking about and considering.
Of course. We do now see Richie coming from Light Pink Yoshi, waiting on the 8-mon and 4-pin. So 8 of characters and 4 of circles. It looks like Quibi does call the trio bamboo just so that there's no risk of dealing into the Ipatsu, which is very interesting. So
Yeah.
because of the tile switching rule, he cannot discard the 6 bamboo right away. Very interesting.
I think it's probably not the safest looking tile either. So I imagine even without that rule, it would have been unlikely to be the first tile to come out.
Very interesting to see here what's gonna happen. Looks like, yeah, he's just going to break apart his hand just to make sure there's no Ipatsu, that there's no
Yeah.
no dealing in here under his watch. And yeah, there are 2 players in Tenpai, so the players who are not in Tenpai pay 1,000 to the players who are. And we will not have the repeat. So maybe actually Queeby made that call because he doesn't want to extend the game any longer. That could also be it.
Good point. That's a good point.
So now, Mort is in the dealer seat, and this is his chance to make a big comeback. Let's see what he has here in store for that comeback.
I mean, the hand it's all right. Oh, pairing up these Souths definitely make things a little bit easier because you can just, you know, call to your heart's content, and know that you can still win. And it's hard to say whether it'll be fast enough, but looking around, it doesn't seem like anybody else is super close to Tenpai.
Right, and yeah, like I said, not a lot of things happening right now. Quibi does have an incredible amount of wins. Could also be looking at a half flush again. We'll see what happens. As the players draw their tiles, their hand evolves, and we will surely tell you the most exciting possibilities.
Yeah. Well, after saying all of that about the Souths, now Mort actually can throw them and get a what's also known as a Mentan Pin, or a Richie, Tanya, or All Simples, and Pinfu, and actually have a quite nice hand of it, possibly scaring people off of their own hands.
That's going to depend on whether he draws the 1 a bamboo or 4 a bamboo, but yeah, it is indeed a very nice hand, and he is going to be looking for that. Going to be looking for the Tanya, as you said. Even draws the second pair here, not very necessary, yeah. Just going to make it so they don't gain any information, just going to discard from the draw.
But, you know, fortunately for Mort, nobody else, I think, is even 1 away from Tenpai yet, so he does have time to wait and improve his hand, as he did. But, you know, he is still not quite there. And having said that, I think Wave is now 1 away from Tenpai.
Ooh, Queeby here does a very nice style.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's 1 away. Okay, so there is the Tanya Orichi Pinfu from Mort. Depending on if they get Tatsumo, they could be 5,200, it could be more, depending if it's on the Ipatsumo.
3 tiles left in the wall. Quibi there is Ishan 10, is 1 away from Tenpai. And I think Wave has now started to bail. Yoshi, it's hard to say.
There are a few different ways that Quibi can get Tenpai here. The best one, I think, being the White Dragon and waiting on the double pair weight, the 2, 3, 4, 5, which I think we'll be talking about later. Very nice shapes to have in your hand. And yeah, just quietly waiting for the 5 or 8 pin for Mort.
Another option could be if Quibi just starts bailing, actually, so looks like we may be heading towards another exhaustive draw.
Wow, so many exhaustive draws. We saw so many small hands on the first game. People were really looking to control the pace of the matches more and just get as many small wins and not let anyone else get to, you know, get a very big hand. But now, we'll see what happens here. That is a very dangerous style, but that is It could have been Tenpai for Quibi, but he didn't feel confident discarding the 5 of characters.
Yeah. There are still 2 of Mort's winning tiles left on the wall, and Mort has 1 draw left, so...
Let's see...
Will it come out? Will Quibi take the Tenpai as well?
Quibi, yeah, that's another Tenpai. Discarding the 5 of characters. It is safe, but he just just not feeling it. Just not feeling it.
With that, I think a draw.
And I think that's a very sensible thing to do because he does have a massive lead.
Oh, absolutely. Totally.
So it looks like everyone here is going to pay 500 again. A bit of a different rule. Usually it's, everyone pays 1,000, but right now it's 1,500 on the CatfoodBowl tournaments.
And we head to another dealer repeat. 5 bonus sticks on the table, which of course normally would mean 1,500 extra points to the winner of the hand, but now is a big fat 0.
And there are 2 Reachy sticks on the table, which actually do have value. They're worth 2,000 to 1,000 each, of course. So if someone can win a 1-hand hand or 2-hand hand, it would pretty much double the value of that usually small hand.
Mort here has a possibility for going for a half flush, but as you said, there's 2,000 extra points on the table, and so he may end up just going for the fastest hand that he can.
Ooh, so this is Tenpai even without the Richi because of the self triplet. And since it is a bad wait, I would not be surprised if Mort just sits quietly and waits for the 3 months to come.
Or, he could
There
change
is an
his weight
upgrade.
here, or he
There is
could
an upgrade.
he could also still try to upgrade to a half flush, depending on what he draws.
Well, it looks like he is keeping, he does change his weight to 2 and 6. Ooh, and that is a dangerous tile, but looks like they'll keep. Yes. Maybe keeps. And the upgrade that you were talking about, it might not be half flush, but it could be discarding the 6 after drawing either a 5 or a 7.
That's
to give
true.
them a 2-sided weight.
There's also a possibility for the full straight, 1 through 9.
Oh yeah, my apologies. I wouldn't give them a 2-sided weight. We'll give them a 3-sided weight on 1 4 7, which is very nice.
Wave
They
here
figured it
has made it to 1 away from Tenpai.
Right, so now, so because Mort drew the 2 of bamboo, so the thing is, he did not want to call Richi, discarding the tile that he had just drawn, but since he drew the 2, he can discard the 2 from his hand, which kind of disguises the fact that he was already Tenpai before. So again, like those sleight of hand plays that players of this caliber will often do.
We have a chasing Richi from Wave on the right in the south seat, waiting on the 3-6 of...
Ooh, and that is a Pinfu! A Richi Pinfu! And it is a Patu as well, so... This is going to hurt.
Dora. That is going to hurt.
Yeah, of course. 7,700.
Poor
and
Mort.
Mort. Not looking good, but... anything could happen. It is Mahjong. It is Mahjong.
Yeah, anything can still happen, but... You know, the later you get a minus 40-something points from this hand, for some of this game, my mistake, would definitely hurt going into the last game.
You are correct, but we can never give up hope. We have seen so many crazy things happening in these CatfoodBowl tournaments, right? We saw the Rinchan Hanemon, we saw the big 3 dragons on the previous CatfoodBowl minor.
Anything can happen.
Never know. You never know what's gonna happen when you play Mahjong. That's why we play it, right?
Let's see, in this hand, looks like the most exciting one right now is possibly Quibi's hand, which is a potential half flush. And they have their seat wind, the west. The only unfortunate thing is that they have 3 unpaired honors. The north, the white, and the red dragon, which, you know, if they can pair up any of them, then it would be they would make their hand much faster. As it is, it's hard to say whether it'll get finished or not.
But then again, Quibi is not in a huge pressure to finish this hand either. And
Very true.
I think Yoshi does have a nice hand here. It does have nice shapes. It does have Dora in it. So I think Yoshi does have that going for him.
Yeah, looks like now 1 away from Tenpai. And they have a chance at a Sanshoku, the 3-color straight with the 7, 8, 9s.
Right, so that's why he is keeping the 9 of bamboo there, but looks like, let's see actually what he chooses. It's just beanful or mixed triple sequence. So he can choose to, okay, so he decides to wait on only the 9.
Only the
sorry, only the 8, yeah. He chooses to keep the 9 and wait on the 8.
Yeah. And since Yoshi has the Yaku, of course, they don't have to call Richie, and since they're in second place, they don't need to worry too much about getting as many points as possible.
That's right. And it is also, when you're waiting like this on a single tile, sometimes it is a lot better to try to go for the silent hand, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh, calling the
definitely
Richie.
true. Sometimes, and sometimes you don't call Richie because you think you might be able to improve your hand, improve the value of your hand. In this case, of course. Oh,
Again, we see the same technique that Morty used in the previous round of discarding, waiting for something to come into your hand that you can disguise as your discard for when you call Richie. So it doesn't look like you are just waiting on the same thing, waiting for a chance.
yeah. Wave immediately draws another one of Yoshi's winning tiles, but it fits into their hand quite nicely and is now their pair. And they also have a chance at Sanshoku with the 4,
That's
5,
right.
6s.
Right, so the critical draw here for Wave is drawing the 5 of characters, which would give them a possibility of the mixed triple sequence. But looks like there aren't many left. Actually.
Yeah.
There's only a single one left.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
mistaken.
we're quite late in the wall at this point, so
That's true. But at least maybe Tempai? Can we see Tempai? So
it's possible.
right. He can on 5 or 8, but after this card, it's not possible anymore.
And we have another draw.
And 1,500 points to I think Yoshi. So many draws. People are playing very defensively.
I think Yoshi is definitely pretty well positioned in this game right now. They had a really quite a small negative score from the first game, and now they're well positioned to take second. Especially if they can make something out of this last dealer turn, and then they should be in a relatively good position going into the last game to have a good win and take the first place overall.
So let's see. He does decide to keep the Dora here instead of discarding it, maybe, yeah, just to get more value. Of course, Dora are always very nice to have in your hand, but especially when you're the dealer.
Be interesting to see if they call the green dragon if someone else throws it, because that would give them Tempai, of course, but they would have to throw the Dora.
I think if I drew the green, I would definitely call Richie, but in this situation, I don't know if I would take it. I don't know if I would open the hand, because then you only have one hand in your hand, right?
Yeah, it's a tough call.
A tough call for sure. And maybe, of course, since he does have such a massive lead, he's going to be looking to just call these white dragons and make as fast of a hand as he can, or even go into silent mode if he draws. So there are a lot of draws here he can make now.
Yeah, it's hard to say if he drew something like a 3-pin or a 9-pin. Oh well,
Wow, so that makes it easy for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's going to go for the greed. He's going to go for more points because he does want as much of an advantage as he can going into the last game. So now we do see the green dragon. It's a very scary discard, but that light pink Yoshi does have to make. He wants to get as much of an advantage as he can. So now he is Tempai on the 5 and 8 of bamboo. And that is a safe discard against Queeby. But at this point, I don't know if other players will actually play safe.
Yeah, he has the nice thing for Yoshi is that one of his winning tiles is a safe tile against Queeby. And of course, since Queeby is in Richie and Yoshi is open, everyone knows that Queeby is Tempai, but they don't know necessarily that Yoshi is Tempai. Although they might guess that from...
but yeah. But now though, Phoebe does just manage to win with its sumo, so it's a very nice hand actually.
Yeah.
Didn't need it, but of course he welcomes it.
Yeah, and Yoshi has to pay the dealer penalty, paying more points than the other two players, Wave and Mort.
So now this is the final hand. Of course we do have Agariame, so we do have to so Quibi does have to either not win or someone else has to get out on sumo, of course.
Quite a nice draw there, man.
He can decide to just go all the way to the end and just not win at the end, if that does happen. But Mort has such an exciting hand here with 3 Dora and possibility for half flush. Could help him at least claw his way back a little bit to minimize the damage, doing some damage control.
But again, as we see, it kind of looks like it's a good hand because it's all mon piles and honors. But the reality is that 4 of those are unpaired honors that are not helping you get closer to Tenpai. So it's a bit of a tricky hand. It kind of looks closer to being done than it actually is. Unfortunately for Mort. Meanwhile, Wave is also doing a half flush, but is much closer to completion.
So Quibi here cannot take a silent hand.
And they opt instead to not take the Tenpai.
Trying to maybe switch gears into all simples or something.
Yeah.
To have a better chance. And Wave now in Tenpai for a half flush. Looking really to just hit like Pink Yoshi directly, or maybe even upgrade to an all triplets, which he does.
Yeah.
So now, if Yoshi discards the 5 or the White Dragon, it could be very dangerous.
Interestingly, we now see, for the second game in a row, we see someone pass up a win to hopefully get more points.
So Light Pink Yoshi does have the last White Dragon. Now it's now very tough situation for Light Pink Yoshi because he cannot end the game, and if Wave gets a big enough hand, he could overtake him.
We've also seen Quibi pass up Tenpai several times at this point, several turns in a row because they were not very good weights, and as we've mentioned before, Quibi doesn't really need to win this hand, and probably would actually prefer for someone else to win the hand so that the game just passes along.
And Quibi, just being very careful, trying to not even give people the green dragon. But Light Pink Yoshi makes the call, and unfortunately, he's going to get hit by the Mongun.
Incredibly, after Mort discarded the White Dragon, Wave passed it up and waited for Yoshi to throw it afterwards, which gives them a more solid second place. What a tactical decision!
Yeah,
and it really paid off.
Yeah, so now once again we see a very key play on the very last hand, and yeah, that's going to be second place for Wave.
What a roller coaster! What a wild second game.
For sure.
Can't wait to see how it pans out from here. And it really shows you it kind of just shows you like how interesting the game can be, that there are these kinds of decisions and tactics that enter the game when you're playing in a match like this.
Very, very interesting. So yeah, now we do have Quibi sitting at a massive plus 56. The third and fourth places are somewhat close at minus 12 and minus 15, and Mort did get a very the negative score of minus 45.9, which I do think maybe it's a little bit of a bug in the overlay, but yeah, he does have I think minus 30.
It should be minus 28.1, I think.
Minus 28.1. Right. So yeah, we'll see how the third game goes. It is the last game of the night, and we will have the winner of the tournament after the next game.
Man.
So
yeah.
I guess I can introduce myself to the guy that didn't get a chance. We were so excited to get into the match. My name is Irene TV. I stream on Twitch. I've commentated for CatfoodBowl Miner, and I do commentate some other Mahjong tournaments as well. And Joe?
Yeah, I'm Joe. I just play for fun. I don't stream usually. I just and now that I'm really looking forward to the next time that I can play in person. But for now, I'm just trying to get along on online, playing for fun, enjoying the game.
Right. So there we go. Now we have the correct scores. Thank you very much. So yeah, Wave. I said that it was the third and fourth players, but it was actually Wave and Light Pink Yoshi are very close. They're only -12 and -15, and of course, every placement matters. And we could see another gigantic win from Mort. That we never know what's gonna happen in Game 3, so don't count any of these players off as that have definitely proven themselves as very strong players.
Nothing's out of the question, but I mean, if you're Quibi right now, you've got to be feeling pretty good about your chances going into this last game. I mean, yes, anything can happen. You can always deal into a Yakuman. That can always happen. But Quibi, I think we can probably look forward to a lot of very defensive play from Quibi in this last game.
That's true. So let's take a look at the Game 2 highlights. I think they are ready for us to show. So yeah, this is East 3, and we do have I think it was the Ricci dealer Ipatsumo that we saw. It was a very big hand, very nice hand, and it really set the base for this match. So let's see here the hand upgrading. Of course, we did see the eventual 3 concealed triplets, which gave him a very nice boost. And since it was Ipatsumo, he did get the bonus for a Mangan, which was 12,000 points and really changed the landscape of the scores on the table. So yeah, that was a 12,000 point hand. Was the biggest one we had so far in the tournament. But then right after that, in the East 4 dealership repeat 1, I think, yes, we had a very nice hand from Queeb, which he ended up carrying all the way to the end. He did get 2 Dora, and right here on this one away moment, he eventually drew the 6th one, I think, for the Dora 3. And there we go. After calling Ricci on this, and I think it was right off the bat, right? He did manage to get the winning hand shortly after, which was a very nice hand. Very nice hand.
The best possible draw, in fact.
Yeah,
the
it was
maximum possible value. And not only that, but the last tile, the last Formon.
Yeah, it was definitely the tile smiled upon him, and he got to the Sumo, the mixed triple sequence, the Dora 3, he got everything. And yeah, that's a dealer Bowman, 24,000. Not every day that we see one of these in a tournament with no red Doras, so very nice.
And the biggest hand of the match thus far.
Yes, of the tournament even.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can win a big hand like that, especially as the dealer, I mean, it feels really good.
Okay, so looks like we will be seeing some and a few more tips from tips. So let's see what we have here. Are you guys ready to learn some more about shapes that you might see in your games? And so let's see. We do have here a 3-4-5-5. It's a very nice shape to have, especially at the end, because it does allow you to have Pinfu. If you have this in your hand and you only have sequences, and of course, no Yakai pairs or anything like that, you are able to get Pinfu as well, because as we'll see on the first two examples here, you are able to win on 2 and 5, and your 5 will count as a pair. So on either case, the 5 counts as a pair. And if you win on that, you are able to win Pinfu. So you can win on 2 or 5. And then for the draws, if you draw the 3, you get into a very nice pure double sequence possibility of the inside tile, which the inside weight can be used to set up just little traps, as we talked about Suji the last time. Can set up lure people into a false sense of security and get the run on them. If you draw the 4, you do have another potential sequence, and it could even be the pure double sequence as well. It could be painful as well, so it's very nice. And if you draw the 6, it would go along with the 5/6, and you would have another two-sided weight for the painful, which is very nice. And we also have the 3, 4, 5, 6, which I talked about earlier, which is a very nifty shape. And it's very good because it's very flexible, right? You can draw the 3 or the 6, as we can see on the first 2 examples. And if you draw those, if you're looking for a pair, this is one of the best ways to get one. Because if you draw the 3, in this case, you would have a pair and your 4, 5, 6 would be a sequence. Or if you draw the 6, the same thing happens, where the 3, 4, 5 is a sequence and you have the pair as this 6. So, instead, what happens if you draw the inside tiles, right? The 4 or the 5? You will get another two-sided weight. So you would get, if you draw the 4, you would have the 3, 4 left over. So you'd be waiting on 3 and 6 to complete another sequence. And if you get the 5, you'd be waiting on the 4 and 7 for another sequence. It's very useful. Very, very useful. But one of the best things about this shape is that if you draw another one of the tiles adjacent to it, you get 5 in a row. You get the very nice, what we call the, it's a complex shape where you can get either the 1 or the 4 or the 7. So you can get either the inside tile or the 2 sides outside. And you'd, it's good for Pinfu. It's good for, just in general, because you have so many tiles you can draw to get into, to get either the win, like Sumo, so it's a very nice wide weight for Sumo, gives you a lot of draws, or it can also be used for runs. Very good. So I think now I'll pass it off to Tips and Tricks. You of course already know him, and he'll explain to you guys these next shapes.
Thank you. So we have here a little bit of a wider shape. A lot of times you have your pure double sequence. Occasionally you'll draw another tile that sort of overlaps with it. For this case, we drew the inside 4 pin. So we have 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5. Now you may think you're already happy with your 2 shapes, but something like this can actually become 3 shapes. And I'm sure you can start to see some just at a first glance. At a first glance, you sort of notice the 3 and the 5. They're actually the 3rd and the 4th shapes you'll see. Drawing the 3 and the 5, you get 2 triplets in a pair. That's pretty cool. But if you draw the 2 or the 6, you can also see you can actually make 2 runs with this shape, with a chance to get a 3rd run. And you still have your chance at your pure double sequence. So that's pretty cool as well. And the last thing is drawing the 4th 4 here. You may think, oh, okay, my triplet became a quadruplet. Maybe I should con it now. But you can actually keep your pure double sequence here and use the extra 4s as a pair. Now, if this is your final shape in your hand and everything else is complete, unfortunately it does not actually wait on the 2 or 6, rather it only waits on the 3, 4, and 5. The 3 and the 5 make 2 triplets, and the 4 makes that pure double sequence shape we can see in the bottom right here, while pairing up the last piece. So this is an example of a shape that looks, there's a lot of tiles there, right? So it must accept a lot of tiles. But the fact that you already have a lot of the 3, 4, and 5 actually make it a little less good than you might think, because a lot of the tiles you would be using are already in your hand. So that's been Tips with Tips. We're going to say goodbye to Joe, and thank you for all of your hard work today. And
it's been my pleasure. Been a great great joy to watch such exciting play. I'm looking forward to the last game as well, of course.
Thank you, Joe, for the commentary. It was great.
That's great. And I will be stepping in here with Irie to commentate our last game of the day.
That's right.
Let us see who is going to take it away on this final game. So the players are getting ready. In the meantime, let's go over the prizes once again. First prize here. All prizes provided by Yostar and Catfood Studios. First prize is that Kirin Season 1 title and that physical trophy, as well as a $300 Amazon gift card and 50 summon scrolls. Second prize is that $150 Amazon e-gift card with 30 summon scrolls. Third prize is the $100 gift card from Amazon with the 20 summon scrolls. And fourth is still going away with a solid $70 Amazon gift card and 10 summon scrolls. So, our players well rewarded for the Mahjong we've seen today.
For sure. Of course, everyone wants the glory, but there are still great prizes for those who do not manage to get first, as there only will be one winner, of course.
That's right. And just before we get into the final game, we can see our scores here once again. Again, Mort's score has been fixed, so that is his current position as of now.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of events happened, and he did end up losing his lead that he had from the first game. But we do. Go ahead.
That's right. Anything can happen this game. We've seen crazy comebacks in the previous Catfood Bowls. Wave being two-time champion and Queeb the one-time champion from Season 0. Looking for... They're both looking for repeats here, essentially, right?
For sure. Of course, these players are not unfamiliar to the podium. These players have all battled it out before, and they've all placed very highly. Wave did get first place in both Oxier Power Cup, the previous tournament that we had, and also Stay Home Minor. Light Pink Yoshi did get second place on the same tournament as Wave. Mort got second place on the Oxier Power Cup minor tournament. And Queeby did get first place on the Catfood Bowl Season 0. So let's see how they battle it out. This will be the battle for the glory.
Alright.
And
so here we have Wave starting dealer this time. Wave's got a 1-2-3 shape in the Sozu and a couple other shapes here. Will be interesting to see what he uses as his pair, because having a Yakuhai, a dragon, or a prevalent or seat wind as your pair does not allow you to get Pinfu. That's the one thing that trips people up sometimes. Light Pink Yoshi on the right has a lot of runs. So speaking of Pinfu, Light Pink Yoshi might have Pinfu very soon. Mort across the table also has a lot of shapes pretty well made. Mort seems to be one away from Tenpai. No Yaku there, so Mort will have to reach you, but I think considering Mort's situation, he's more than happy reaching. Queeb on the left has got a pair of Easts, which is quite solid. Queeb is not too far away from Tenpai, but may rely on East for the Yaku.
ooh, so we do have a reachy possibility here already from Wave. Decides not to call it as though weight wasn't the best.
That's right.
And,
Wave has a lot of room for improvement here. This is probably the best improvement that Wave could have drawn, period.
yeah, we were talking about this shape right before we started this game, actually. So this was the 3, 4, 5, 6, and he drew the 2. So now he can win on the 1, which would be the absolute best for the pure straight, right? Close to pure straight. But he can also win on the 4 and the 7, which is very good.
That's right. And Wave also having picked up probably oftentimes considered the hardest tile, the Dora, because of course all the other players want it. Picking that up to be Tempai doesn't hurt either. As to our other players, they're definitely respecting the danger here, as we see Wave discarding the Dora, no choice there. But considering the position, we might see a lot more aggression than usual.
Right, because this is the last game. They don't have much room. I mean, there's no game after this, to put it simply.
That's right.
So every single hand will count so much here.
Mort across the table is now Tempai. That's not bad. It's not a dealer hand, but that is a pretty nice hand as well. Mort goes for an interesting wait here. Guarantees the Tanyao by not waiting for a 1-4, but also picking the one safe tile that he can use. As we can see, Wave did discard the Dora during Ricci, so Mort knows that tile is safe against the Ricci player, I should say.
So we'll see if the other players managed to sniff out that he had 2-3 in his hand and decided to discard it to wait for the 3 only.
We can
And
see
sadly,
a lot of the red tiles here showing up in other players' hands, and they're not willing to discard them.
yeah, it looks like somehow, by virtue of something, everyone can use the tiles that they have in their hands. So no one deals in just yet. Oh, but that Sumo comes! No one pin!
Wait for the emote! And there it is! Wave again, when in dire straits, pulls even Uradora. Although the that's right.
Yeah.
The Uradora doesn't make a difference this time, but that is a dealer Haneman, and it's still only East 1. Could Wave have another comeback in the works?
I mean, yeah, he has shown to make those comebacks in the past, and I think even though the Uradora did not help quite as much as he would hope for, it still showed up in spirit, which is a good omen for what things to come.
It's bringing him good luck for his next hands. So as we can see, Wave did get some good luck on this hand. Wave seems to be about 2 away from Tempai, has the white dragons to potentially call. On the right, Light Pink Yoshi has just got Tempai. That is a Pinfu with 2 Dora. That could be exciting. The weight isn't too bad either. Across the table, Mort is also looking very nice. 2 away from Tempai. It's a little dangerous against the Ricci, but you gotta do what you gotta do when the chips are down. On the left, Quibi is kind of fortunate to have a lot of Yoshi's weights also usable in his hand.
It's always these situations where, of course, they don't know exactly what they're waiting for, but being able to use these dangerous styles in your hands really helps you out to play a bit safer, because you can just use them instead of having to make that choice of, do I fold or do I keep going?
Yeah, Wave making an interesting choice here, has unlocked Pinfu as a possibility for his hand, and he does see it and he does take it. Considering he has a pair of white dragons there, generally when you have a pair, they're safer than just any other tile.
That's right. And we do see the red dragon, so that is a safe tile to discard if he does get into Tempai.
That's
He
right.
decides to go for more. And he might decide not to Ricci, but having the option of winning on something, even if it's a small hand, is still very good.
That's right. And Queeb breaking his hand here, cutting the 7 mon from the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 after drawing the 4th 7 pin. That only leaves 1 out for Yoshi. But on the flip side, that still leaves 1 out for Yoshi. Let's see if Queeb...
Yeah, so there's...
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that there is, in fact, as you said, only 1 tile left, but while Wave does draw into Tempai and decides to go Ricci, even though there's already a Ricci on the table.
That's right. Wave trying to protect his dealer turn. Wave also only looking at 1 tile left in the wall for his weight as well. His weight's normally looking quite good, but at this point in the game, there's only 1 left in the wall.
That's right. And looks like Queeby did get a Tempai there, if I'm not mistaken.
Queeby has an extra green dragon, so not quite Tempai.
Oh yeah, not quite.
And LPY does find Wave's only remaining tile and deals it into Wave here. So Wave still on the roll here.
And wow, this triplet.
That's right. Wave still rolling on. It's like a stone going down a hill once it starts, or gathering moss. Once it starts going, it just goes faster and faster. But let's see. Our other players, Yoshi on the right, has a lot of pairs. We could be seeing an interesting 7 pairs. We haven't seen a 7 pairs this tournament.
Yeah, we haven't seen any at all, which is quite surprising. Is those hands are sneaky and can definitely get someone off guard.
Yeah, they can wait on any tile they wish. That's the versatility of them. Mort across the table has now have a pair of West and a Dora, so Mort has some options. On the left, Queeby's got 1 full meld and a lot of sort of middling shapes. They're not the worst, but they're not the greatest either.
So now Wave does have the East pair, as he just paired it up, so he could decide to call it. And he does.
Indeed.
And no, even making a switch into the half flush. Very interesting.
Yeah, so you would look at the scores, and in any typical non-tournament game, you'd say to yourself, well, it may be East 1, but Wave can probably sit on his laurels here. But we know the tournament score situation, so we know Wave is trying to dig as many points as he can get.
And of course, in the process, he also wants to, if possible, get some runs on Queeby to make that ascension even better.
That's right. Although, interesting enough here, Wave decides to take the Tempai, probably because he figures the weight on Dora is hard enough than trying to push all the way through to the full flush.
And I do agree with that. It is very difficult to get the Dora, and you already have enough, right?
That's right. Wave has 3 Han, 1 for the Prevalent Wind. Wave's Seat Wind is also East, and then the Dora that Wave is currently waiting on would be the 3rd Han.
And I cannot believe that Wave could potentially be doing it again, as he has done in other tournaments.
Oh.
But if there's someone to do it, it would be him.
Oh, Wave gets the 3-so weight combined with the 4-pin weight here. No longer waiting on Dora, so it does not quite earn as much, but a much higher chance of finding this weight.
It is true.
Actually, all the 3-sos are still in the wall. There's a 4-pin in the wall, whereas there was only 1 Dora left in the wall. And as we were talking about 7 pairs earlier, Light Pink Yoshi waiting on the 6-pin, 7 pairs. Tempai. Queeby draws this tile. Yeah, Queeby also Tempai now, but no Yaku, no Tanya because of that 9-pin in hand.
I wonder if he'll be looking to do the same trick where he waits for a tile from his hand to declare Richie. Or, I guess since there's not much time, he cannot win off of this.
That's right. Because Queeby did not call Richie, he was not able. Although now he has moved to a potential Tanyao, but Furiten because of that 9-pin.
Right, so he would need to... Ooh, so now, switching the weight, he can wait on the 4 and the 8, if he so desires.
That's right. And we can see Wave had actually folded at some point, or at least somewhat folded in order to move to a half flush, sort of splitting his differences. Oh, and now we have a bunch of different people Tempai.
And, oh, that's so tragic. Queeby decided to change his weight off of the 6, and he actually drew it.
That's right. It was just too dangerous for him, and you know, considering his current point position, I think he just didn't want to get in the mix there.
That's very respectable, I think.
That's right. So, Wave's dealer turn ends, and we are over to Light Pink Yoshi, who seems to have inherited the dealer flow here with a very quick hand, 2 away from Tempai, a lot of good shapes. On the right, Mort has He's got a lot of isolated honors in the corner there. He's got a 1 foreign pin. Not the greatest, but there's a chance at a pure straight, which would be worth a lot of points. Across the table, Quibi has a Dora and 2 Yakuhai pairs. The East, the Prevalent Wind, and the White Dragon. And then on the left, Wave also has a Dora and a pair of the Red Dragon, and a lot of outside tiles. Wave could be coming up with something here.
That's right, and we do see Light Pink Yoshi here as well as 1 away. And we'll see if he can actually get it. It is a difficult 3-pin to get, but if he does get it, it will be a Pinfu, which is exactly what he needs.
That's right. It would be both the best Yaku and the widest weight.
And maybe he can still hold on to this north, even if it's not the most efficient thing, just because of the value.
That's right.
Might want to make sure that he doesn't fall even farther behind.
Yeah. If he does have it later on in the hand, Wave might end up being Tenpai on the north. You can see Wave starting to move towards it right now. Oh, Mort draws one as
See
well.
what could happen. Yeah, so now there will only be a single one left to draw. But depending on how fast this end progresses, he could just be waiting on it for the win. So having a single one would be nice.
Oh,
Ooh.
Wave finds it! And actually cuts the pair of 9s, seeing the pair of 9 pin across the table from Mort, realizing that's not really the greatest weight. Wave.
Now he's 1 away from a possible half outside hand and Dora 2 and Red Dragon, so that would be such a valuable hand, and he does decide to call for it. He doesn't get the bonus from the Reachy, but it's still such a good hand. Has to go for it.
That's right. There's still 2 left in the wall for Wave here. We can see 2 on the table, but fortunately for Wave, none of them are in the other player's hands. So they're both available to be drawn. Our other players, Light Pink Yoshi has just unfortunately discarded the deal-in tile.
Yeah, but that's it. And that is another Mangan for Wave. With the massive flow.
I was going to say Light Pink Yoshi had discarded 7 tiles in a row without improving his hand. But that one is probably the worst of all, unfortunately. But Wave doing it again. Wave is doing it again. 55,900 currently. And now we have Mort in the dealer spot. Mort's got an interesting hand. Throws the Dora there. On the right, Quibi has a pair. Quibi has another pair of green dragon, so might use that to make a quick hand and advance the game. Across the table, Wave is looking at something interesting. It's almost Tanyao, almost Pinfu, but decent shapes all around. And then Light Pink Yoshi on the left really looks like a nice Tanyao shape, but Light Pink Yoshi may need more points than that, considering this is the last game.
As you said, since this is the last game, he does have to scrape by as many points as he can from this hand. So I think the most likely chance to get points here would be the pure double sequence, but he still has to draw it. That's the hardest part. Can't really force it or anything.
Yeah, that's a lot of the power of the Tanya or the all simples hand is its ability to open very quickly and call all of these usable tiles. But when you can't do that because of your point situation, it's not as good. Like, we can see Wave here doesn't even reach you because Wave has that luxury, having so many points. And actually, I've received word that he's currently only 3,000 points out of another tournament win.
Wow, he does decide to even call the Richi.
Yeah,
waiting the 3.
That's right, he used the trick you were mentioning last time.
Of waiting for a tile so that he can do the fake out, right?
Yeah, this one is a little different. Knowing that the 2 makes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, and it's Sumo! On Richi, it's a Tanyo as well. It's the oh my gosh. And the
Yeah.
Uradora comes in clutch for the Hanuman.
This is
Back
massive.
to back to back.
This is massive. The Uradora this time, I guess the Uradora paid Wave this time because it didn't help last time, actually pushes him from the manga to the Hanuman, and now Wave is actually en route for first place, but it's Queeby's first dealer turn, so it's Queeby's time to fight back, and Queeby has a decent chance to do it. Queeby looking at maybe his own Tanya. It could be open, could still be closed, maybe get a Riichi. Wave on the right already has a triplet of East and a pair of 9-pin. The rest of the hand is not bad actually, but that Dora is kind of isolated. Light Pink Yoshi across the table, looking at a half flush here, so that's a dangerous hand. And Mort on the left with representatives from all three of the dragon factions, the red, green, and the white. Pairs of Dora, pairs of 1-pin. This could be big for Mort too.
Wow, have you ever seen this happen from such flow in a tournament?
I'll tell you, we've casted Wave before, so I'm
mean,
getting
yeah, I guess,
flashbacks.
Getting flashbacks.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
Wave going for the 3-peat, I guess.
that's right.
He's got to be feeling very good, and the other players are going to be trying their best. I think Mort, seeing all of this happening, just has to think, well, I just have to go for it. I just have to go for the big 3 dragons.
That's right. We can see Mort actually cutting his most efficient shape, the 4-5, but going for the most valuable shape. So Mort here, either looking for big 3 dragons or what they call Honroto, which is the all terminals and honors, the all triplets with the little 3 dragons to at least hit Baimon with those 3 Dora.
Yeah, it could actually be a very scary hand, and if he does hit Wave, it puts him in a little bit of a better spot at least.
That's right. But our two competitors here currently for the lead, Wave and Queeb, both in Tempai, Queeby, sorry, trying to ruin Mort's dreams here.
And we'll see, because Wave is already in Tempai.
That's right.
He's 1 and 4.
1 away now. Not worth quite as much once that 8-pin is in the hand. It moves down to a half outside hand instead of all terminals and honors. But still looking at Hanuman, potentially Baimon. We'll see. And the last Dora is still out there. Oh, more Tempai!
Ooh, more Tempai on the white. Ooh.
Oh, but
But
Wave
Wave just-
Sumo's right after.
And it's just as if the game's slipping away. Like, I can picture the sand falling through the fingers almost.
That's right. Wave evades that bullet. To be fair, so does Queeby. It was Queeby's dealer turn. They would have had to pay double on a sumo. Wave with a mediocre looking hand this time. Light Pink Yoshi on the right, the one with the power this hand. A very strong Tanya, lots of Dora. Considering his situation, he might still try and go for an even larger hand and not open call. But Wave hasn't given him any tiles to call yet. So we will see what Yoshi decides to do. Mort with 3 pairs here and some decent shapes. We'll see if Mort goes for a larger hand here. Mort does still have a dealer turn. Whenever you have a dealer turn left, you have infinite potential. And Queeby
Goodness.
Queeby now with even more dragons.
Oh my goodness. So, but have you seen Light Pink Yoshi's hand? The potential for the pure double sequence, and who knows, maybe even twice here?
That's right.
That'll be quite something.
This looks like it's gonna be a hot one. This one's gonna be a scorcher. Light Pink Yoshi already Tempai.
Senpai on the Bean Furichi Tanya Dora 3. What a hand.
That's right. That's right.
Light Pink Yoshi, he does have, he's a second in placements right now. So, he still has his dealership left, so it could be a very start to something big.
Indeed. Queeby still looking at potentially a monster hand, although from our perspective, we can see Wave is actually holding both of the red dragons. But Wave might use them as safe tiles, and indeed does.
Ooh.
Queeby
So
does make the
now-
call. Oh, we've
And
got
now
calls
Lightning
everywhere.
Yoshi. Ooh, the 6. It's
Oh.
dangerous.
Oh, what will Queeby do? Queeby already took a little risk with the 9 so, but does not want to take the larger risk with the 6 mon.
But now he's even thinking of accommodating the 6, and instead we're going for going all the way.
That's right, Mort Tempai here as well, not with as big of a hand as our 2 players on the left and right, but still has something. Mort would need the south, and okay, Mort does not want to deal into this Richie here.
Yeah, this Richie is very scary.
Yeah,
And there's still plenty of game to go around, and you know that two-sided sequence Tempai gives you a lot of room to Tsumo.
oh, and we see Yoshi cuts the green dragon here, and that sort of gives room for Queeby or for Wave to also cut the green dragon. Queeby does cut the green dragon as well. That's not what I meant to say, but it happened because Queeby had the 2 pawns of dragons, and seeing the green dragon come out, Wave got the green light to green dragon. You know.
Oh, but the Queeb was doing such a good job defending, but now Light Pink Yoshi comes in, and this is gonna be a big hand.
Yeah, this is at least Hanemon. No Ura, so it is Hanemon.
Oh wow. So now Queeb, who was in first place with a massive lead, is now in 2,500 only. So this makes it so Wave with this massive point lead is looking very good
Yep.
to take it.
Speaking of looking very good, Yoshi looking very good right now. Already gets a call, 1 away from Tempai. Interesting, doesn't keep the wider half flush options open. Actually making a little bit of a disguising maneuver here. By cutting that 5 so, disguising the fact that he's in a half flush, may make people discard the Sozu tiles. Mort on the right is got a couple pairs and a couple shapes, but not as fast as Yoshi here. Across the table, Queeby is in sort of the same situation as Mort, and on the left, Wave has actually some decent shapes, but still about 2 away with that draw from Tempai.
And we'll see, because Yoshi can pawn so many things here, and like you said, that disguising maneuver makes it so it's not suspicious at all what he's waiting on.
Yeah, in fact, half of Yoshi's discards are bamboo, are Sozu tiles. I don't know where is the Mahjong genius out there that would tell me that Yoshi's doing a bamboo half flush?
Yeah, I don't think anyone could read this.
It's not me.
Not me for sure. I would look at this and be like, okay, dealer doesn't have a big hand at all. But no. And even has the room to accommodate another Dora, which is the craziest part about this.
Yeah, truly, the west call in the bottom right there, the call on the west wind, which is not the dealer's wind or the wind of the round, the prevalent wind, is sort of perplexing, but it would be hard to believe it was bamboo. Of course, now with this 1, 2, 3 call, the guys, a little bit of the veil has been peeled off. You know Yoshi's using bamboo in his hand.
But still, I would look at this and be like, okay, so, I don't know, what could this be? It could be a mixed triple sequence, could be half outside, who knows?
Yeah,
Definitely not half flush.
it does look a lot like a half outside hand. Although,
Especially with the 6s and the 5s.
yeah, unfortunately for Yoshi, if the other players believe it's a half outside hand, they're still going to be wary of the east and the green dragon here.
That is true.
So maybe the disguise not coming in quite as clutch, but still, this is a big hand for Yoshi. And of course, if the disguise doesn't work, you just have to draw the tile yourself, right?
Yeah, just draw it yourself. Always works.
Always works. Mort on the
For other
right
players.
seems to be draws the Dora. Now is gotta be 1 away from Tempai with that. The weight isn't as good, but has the opportunity to make Tanya with that. And of course use the Dora.
I think using the Dora is the most important part to get that value. Although, ooh,
That's right. Just in time because Queeby had found Tempai with 2 Dora himself. And this is big. This is a dealer Mangan for Light Pink Yoshi. It's not over yet. Anyone's game. Anyone's game. Right.
So Wave does have a massive advantage, but this could be the start of something big.
That's right. Yoshi here. Looks like potentially a Tanya and a Pinfu. Mort on the right has a lot of terminals, but cut the north and the 9 so not going for 13 orphans quite yet. Not this hand anyway. Quibi across the table has a pair of green dragons and a triplet of Dora. This could be a quick Reachy Dora 3, or it could be an open green dragon Dora 3. Either way, a solid hand. On the left, Wave is looking pretty fast. Not much value, but all Wave needs is the speed at this point.
So now there is actually Tenpai from Quib. We'll see if he takes it with the Richi. Doesn't.
That's
Very
right.
interesting.
Interesting to hold the red dragon here.
And decides to get that extra 6 to maybe extend his hand a bit. Could it end up in the 2 triplets wait potentially on the green and 6? We'll see what happens.
That's right.
Ooh, the red comes back.
Unlucky for Quibi there. But Quibi has certainly a very wide... Yeah, and that is one of the tiles that will make them Tenpai. So it is Reachy 3 Dora. No green dragon weight on this one.
Mm-hmm. And it will be potentially 40 fu?
Yes.
So,
yes, it's at
could be-
least 40 fu because of the well, on sumo it's not 40 fu, but you get the 1 extra han.
yeah,
so it's
so
already a
guaranteed
mangan.
mangan.
Exactly.
Mhm. So we do see a Wave getting a nice draw here. Nice draw.
The Wave is Tenpai, but no Yaku because of that 9 so in the hand. No Tanyao and no Pinfu.
And yeah, Wave at this point does not need to call Richi. Could, keep the flexibility of playing defense.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thought experiment. It's definitely a harder decision when you don't have any Yaku, whether to reach you or not, because without Yaku, you can only sumo for closed sumo. But on the other hand, when you draw a Dora like this, if you Reachy, you have no choice. But because Wave did not Reachy, Wave can hide this Dora away in his hand, not giving it to the other players.
And yeah, we'll see. Wave though is making a switch for Tanya. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Queeb gets his tile finally.
Queeb fighting back for that first spot. The Ura is also... The Ura is also 8 mon.
The Baimon to claw his way back into this game, and it's so impressive.
Oh my, that's another Baimon for Queeby. You can see the emotes coming out now.
So this is why we always say that, a hand can be good or it can be bad, but, with the Ura, with the Richi, can always be so much better than you imagine.
An amazing flip of Uradora to move that Mangan to a Baimon. And now we're in South 3. It's Mort's chance, it's Mort's dealer turn to also take a shot at the prize here. Mort did come first place in the first game, but 4th in the second game. So let's see what sort of fate awaits Mort in this final game of the CatfoodBowl Major.
Mm-hmm.
On the right...
And you might think...
Go ahead.
You might see this hand and say, well, this isn't the hand that's gonna get him back, but he is dealer. If he wins, he gets another shot.
That's right, and
That's the most
drawing
important
the
part.
Dora there, the hand all of a sudden starts looking more and more valuable.
That's right.
Our potential spoilers here, we've got 2 Yakuhai pawns, Yoshi on the left with the Southwind, and Quibi on the right with the Red Dragon. Across the table,
Okay.
Wave has 4 pairs as well.
Right, potentially looking to spoil Mort's chances to come back. Reminder that, Of course, there is so much glory in the first place, but if it seems out of reach, they're still fighting for second and third.
That's right.
Those prices are still very nice.
So it was interesting when the 6-pin came out from Yoshi. Mort had a chance to cheat it, but it was overridden by Wave's pawn. And I think now that Mort has called the 3-mon, Mort has locked himself into Tanyao as his Yaku. But there's only one more 6-pin left. It is still on the wall, so Mort has a chance to draw it. But that is, I guess, an interesting circumstance that has shown itself.
Although, do remember, if Wave draws it, they might not use it in their hands, or if they decide to call Khan, the worst possible outcome.
Here it comes. The opportunity. There's no 9-pin left. Mort does not have to worry about drawing a 9-pin now. They're all on the discard. He's only looking to steal the Khan or get it from Yoshi here.
From Yoshi? What do you decide?
Yoshi folds.
The discipline that it takes to do these plays, you guys have no idea, because when you're here, when you're so close to finishing the game off, and you have the opportunity there, it takes so much discipline, mental fortitude to not discard that tile.
That's right. A lot of times you see the best play, but your greed makes you not take the best play. Mort has the chance to change his weight here. Only 3 tiles left. He does change his weight.
Now waiting on the 8, which of course will most likely not be coming out of Wave's hand, but we
Oh,
could still see it.
with Yoshi's call for Tenpai, Mort has one chance. There's one in the wall. There's an 8-pin in the wall somewhere. Oh, it's in
but
the
it wasn't
dead
there.
wall.
So close. But he isn't Tenpai, so assuming chooses the right one, and so he continues to be dealer, so we'll have a repeat here. Let's
That's
see
right.
what sort of hand awaits Mort.
Mort gets another shot. This hand is interesting. It's not immediately great, and we can see Mort cutting the Dora right off the bat. It's kind of isolated, but it has potential to draw into a Pinfu, and that helps. On the right, Quibi looks like he's got what looks to be like a fast Tanyao Pinfu. Oh, and that is an amazing draw for it. One away from Tenpai. Across the table, Wave has a decently fast hand, but not quite as fast as the other two.
Maybe does draw a nice 6 here, and we'll give him another triplet to work with. Another good shape.
That's right. And Yoshi on the left has a lot of pairs. Yoshi already has 4 pairs. Can go for triplets with that green dragon, potentially. And does call.
Oh. So yeah, looks like we will be seeing all triplets possibly. Think it's most likely.
That's right. So Mort 1 away from Tenpai. Quibi 1 away from Tenpai. Yoshi 2 away from Tenpai. Across the table, Wave did just make a good draw, but still 2 away from Tenpai. Oh, now 1 away with that draw.
Would be
there.
interesting to see if I think Yoshi draws the 2 of bamboo. Could we see it? No, we're just going to see the chi, and just going for a quick win. I think that signifies that Yoshi is content with getting second.
That's right.
Not going for any more value.
Oh, Mort here finds the Richi, loses the Tanyao, but you gotta take the Tenpai as the dealer when you get it.
That's right, and let's see, with Udadora, with Ipatsumo, it could be a massive hand.
Let's see, all the players have responded with a fairly safe tile so far. No one has shown a willingness to take the dealer on here.
But Wave, fearless, goes for even more value.
Alright, Wave and Tenpai now.
And
Wave.
this painful as well.
Yeah, that's right. Wave has that Dora weight as well.
We'll see what comes. There are still plenty of draws left.
Quibi thinking about this call. It would make Quibi Tenpai. This is a hard decision. Facing down 2 Richis, Quibi does make the call. Throws out a safe tile, so does not move right into Tenpai, but does have a lot of opportunities to still make Tenpai.
definitely poised to take Senpai here.
A very...
And, yeah, he wants that second as well. The competition is fierce.
That's right. Queeby still has a shot at first place, especially with his dealer turn coming. Oh, Dora!
Ooh,
That's so scary!
dangerous. I don't think he's discarding that.
He throws it. It's safe against the dealer, but that's the trap.
Ooh.
Because it's not safe against Wave.
Oh my. That is such a massive lead.
Wave hits another hand, and now it's down to Queeby's final dealer turn. And in fact, the final dealer turn of the game. Mort, unfortunately, finds his dealer turn stolen from him.
We'll see right now what he decides to do.
Yeah. So we've got Queeby in the dealer slot. Draws a triplet of the 6-so. Has that pair of the Dora, a pair of the 9-so as well, which is kind of holding him back from doing Tanyao, but let's see if Queeby can draw it himself. On the right, Wave.
Ooh.
Oh,
He draws it.
That's right. Queeby does draw the triplet. That's going to give him a hard decision. By taking this decision, he generally has resigned himself to a closed hand, which could be worth more, but will take longer to finish.
I wonder if we'll see it.
Yeah. Here, Queeby
That's
does
the
have the
decision.
option to take the 4-5-6 with the 4-6 of bamboos, waiting for the 5 on the inside. That must be giving him a lot of pause. But he does do the con, and that should be... Wave would like to see that red dragon come out. Indeed. Yoshi across is looking interesting. And on the left, Mort has a nice hand, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Queeby, on the other hand, looks like he could take the whole game right here. Although, if Queeby does win, we do have another hand, because there is no Agariyame.
Mm-hmm. Not like he would be at first, but yeah, he would continue
That's
to
true.
play here. Because, yeah, this hand is very nice. We never know what's gonna happen after the Dora flips, so anything could happen. We're gonna see, you know, 2 5s flip, and it'd be scary, to
Yeah,
say the least.
this hand is extremely explosive, but on the other hand, it's got to be extremely scary for all the other players, especially Wave.
Right, because Wave, as long as he doesn't deal in here, it's relatively safe, right?
I think Queeby, even if Queeby sumos a manga in here, Queeby's ahead. So I think Wave notices that too, and that's why he called that tile. Unfortunately, if Wave makes the wrong decision, and that might convince him to do it,
No.
and it comes out, that is going to hurt.
Queeby and Wave exchange such a massive lead, and look at the Uradora.
It's
For
a
a manga.
dealer mangan, which leaves them still in fairly close contention. But again, Queeby flipping an Uradora that's the same as the regular Dora to cash in twice. Ooh, this hand for Queeby not quite as good, but Wave as well not looking at the greatest hand. Across the table, Light Pink Yoshi has an okay hand, and on the left, Mort is looking at not the greatest hand either. So, looks like all of our players will have a lot of time to develop their hands.
Yeah, Mort probably looking for a mixed triple sequence would be his best bet, but Queeby is the player to watch out for here. He does have the Dora Eastwind. If he gets more of those, he could be looking at a triplet or just a pair would already be very good.
That's right, and Queeby also has the advantage of setting the pace of the game as the dealer. Nobody else can have a repeat hand here, so everybody else has to get all their points in one shot. Queeby, sitting at second this game, currently sitting at first in the overall standings. If the scores were to end as they are now. So Queeby does not necessarily need any more points. He just needs to stop Wave and potentially Light Pink Yoshi if this hand was large from getting a lot of points. But Yoshi going for a very inexpensive hand here. Probably trying to secure second or third. Wave gets Tenpai. Sort of flew under my radar, but this is big. Wave actually pulled in the second Dora.
Right. And although it's not Beanfu, it is Dora too, and two-sided weight, so
That's
we'll
right.
see.
You add Riichi, any Sumo, any Urodora, and this is a Mangan. I haven't quite done the math to know if Sumo is enough for Wave to win here.
Ooh, but Sumo comes anyways.
He finds it. He's gonna take it. Second is second. First is first. I'm not sure. He does find an Urodora. It does not add any more value, but it's there regardless. And that's the game.
That is the game.
It'll be down to our calculators in the back to see who took first.
And we'll see very shortly, because there was Wave had a very massive lead, but Wave did get a very massive win. So we'll see how the standings look very soon. As we let's see if when we get the updated score.
All right, scores are coming in. Let's see. And yes, Quibi, by taking second place, secured a lot of the UMA points, the ranking points, when they got their Baimon and that dealer Mangan off of Wave. So by getting second, it really put them ahead of the game there. And so Quibi, with the plus 60.1, is going to be our Battle of Kirin champion.
Wow. I saw such impressive play from all these players. And Wave, even though he had almost another comeback in another tournament, he would have to settle for second today.
That's right. And we have Light Pink Yoshi here in third with minus 32.8. And
Mort will take fourth today with minus 65.4.
That's right. But even fourth is a pretty nice position, as we will see here. So Quibi going away with the title, the trophy, the Kirin Season 1 champion, the $300 Amazon gift card, and the 50 summon scrolls. Second place, Wave with the $150 Amazon gift card and 30 summon scrolls. Third place, Light Pink Yoshi will be receiving a $100 Amazon e-gift card and 20 summon scrolls. And our fourth place competitor, Mort. Well done to all of them. $70 Amazon e-gift card and 10 summon scrolls for Mort there. So this was, again, another exciting finals. I've had a lot of fun casting the finals that I have, and I'm sure back in Season 0, the finals were a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, definitely very exciting games. The tournaments that Yostar puts together are always so impressive, and we have such amazing play.
And so we can see everyone with their favorite emotes here. Quibi in the champion slot again, Wave in second, Yoshi in third, Mort fourth there.
Very impressive.
This is quite an exciting time.
House. Honestly, like, it could have been anyone's game. It was very exciting to see all those sounds. We had a lot of dragon triplets, a lot of dragon pairs. We could have seen something exciting like a Yakuman like we saw in the last tournament, but we didn't see that. But we did see very exciting gameplay, a lot of really high level decision making, and yeah, players gave us such a good show.
That's right. So we'd like to congratulate the players once again, Quibi, Wave, Yoshi, Mort. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing us your Mahjong on this Sunday night, Monday morning, wherever you are in the world. We also have a lot of thank yous we would like to give out here. So, first of all, we have Yostar and Catfood Studio, the publisher and developers of Mahjong Soul, that have created this here fine game that allowed us to see this amazing finals. We've got the ReachMahjongofNewYork staff here, us in charge of the streaming production. Our producer, Luke Morgan, thank you to him. He did a lot of work behind the scenes, made a lot of interesting slides, kept it a lot easier for all of us here on the mic. I'm your MC, Tips and Tricks. Normally I go last, but let's just read it in the order it is, right? We've got the streamers here, your commentators. We've got Irie, or Irene TV. Yep. And we've got Joe Trahedron, who was here earlier. If you're back, Joe, go ahead. That was pretty wild. We'd like to thank all of our pets here at the staff. We've got Ridley and Jack, Roger, Sunny, Bishop, Giles, Kiki, Finn, Jake, Lucy, Yuma, Taiga, Papika, and Nui. And again, a special thanks to Emma, our lead stream contact at Yostar, as well as Catfood Studios, the developer of Mahjong Soul, and Yostar, the publisher of Mahjong Soul. We'd also like to thank all of our players once again for showing up and providing us this great Mahjong. And you, that's right, you listening right now. Thank you for watching. It's a lot more exciting when there's an audience for the tournament. And now that we have people on the playing side, on the commentating side, and the viewing side, we can keep the hype going. Thanks to everyone involved. One last time, thank you for watching. You can follow the official Mahjong Soul EN channels. You can join their Discord. You can check them out, like them on Facebook. You can retweet them and like them on Twitter. Once again, thank you for watching. This has been the CatfoodBowl Season 1 Battle of Kirin, brought to you by Catfood Studios, Yostar Games, and in conjunction with ReachMahjongofNewYork. Have a good night. Have a good morning, wherever you are. Take care.